Hey guys, before we get into the episode, we just wanted to mention that there is mention of suicide in this episode because of what the movie is about or things that happen in the movie. So if it's something you're sensitive about, we just wanted to let you know upfront that we do mention it at some point. Yeah, it gets talked about in this episode at some point. So just wanted to give you a heads up. But okay, we're going to get into it now. Hello, Dust Bunnies. Welcome back. Guys. I am Stevie.
And I'm Sarah. Hello.
And this is
From Under the Bed.
From Under the Bed. Welcome back.
We're covering a movie today. We always are covering a movie or movie like
most of the time.
Or TV shows. Yeah, sometimes we'll also cover a TV show. We'll cover
sometimes
anything.
We won't.
Hey, do anything.
Hey, we have options.
I'll try anything once. Hey. But today we're doing a recent movie. It is in theaters still. We just went to go see it 2 days ago?
We went to see it 2 days ago. It really stuck with me. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but yeah, it's still in the theaters. It came out May 15th. Obsession. Sorry. I was going to say, and today's May 17th. Day of recording. It's only been 2 days to your point of it's just coming out.
Oh, wait, because we went to go see it on the day it came out?
Yeah, it came out. It actually, I think it came out. I can't even talk. We came out on May 15th. It came out on the 15th, but technically, it does came out the night before, but we did go see it on the official release.
That makes sense then, because when I texted you being like, it's in theaters tomorrow, because obviously when you said something a few days ago, you're like, wait, it's only at this random time, whatever. I think I remember looking back and seeing it was on that Thursday also, but it's because that was probably the official premiere, and then the ones you saw were the special, how they'll do the horror movie special ones.
Yeah, it was a week before, and it was we're gonna have whatever, and I was like, oh man. But yeah. Obsession.
Wanted to see this though, we've been wanting to see it, and I knew nothing about it because I kept getting mixed up with the trailers for this one and the newer, what's the other one called that's coming out that's Passenger or something, where the guy's in the car.
I don't know what that one's about.
I don't know, but that one I know less about that one actually. And
I don't know anything about it.
I thought though they were the same because how in this one he's in the car for a lot of the trailer that's the car door. So I was like, is this the same movie? It was not. It's not the same movie.
I actually only saw the little teaser one, which is what I love to do, as we've talked about before. I'm like, give me as little as possible. It was just him calling the number on the back of the box,
I think that's I either saw that, and then I think I might have just seen her standing at his car door being like, hey, and then YouTube, because it wants to show me every ad ever.
YouTube's so
yeah, they're hey, so I would see some stuff on that, but basically didn't know anything. So that was exciting, but also devastating. It's weird because I would say that it's not a typical oh my gosh, this is the scariest, deals with the most intense dark demonic things, even though that's a part of it, but it doesn't explicitly. I feel still it really gets into your head, and that's big for us, so we're oh, that shook us up.
It's really unsettling, and it that's what I was saying after we watched it. I was it's interesting because it doesn't even seem I've told two people afterwards, I just mentioned seeing it, and they're like, oh, was it good, and I'm I don't even know how to because it made me feel so unsettled. I'm yes, it is good,
I know,
but I'm upset.
I can obviously
I'm feeling
get
upset.
more into when the review when we give her our score and stuff, but as a preface for that, it's I have critiques I could say, or things I as a movie, but in terms of what I, even before we started recording, I told Stevie anyway, I don't want to watch this again, but if we did, it would be cool to see.
I heard you say, you're so I don't want to watch it again, but and I'm okay, so rewatch factor.
Yeah.
It's a personally though, not
No,
it's
yeah,
not,
I don't mean.
you
I
know,
think
it's not like that it's not good.
it's like those ones where people, it's used as like a compliment almost in a way, where like they're a little bit different, but you know how people will talk about like really sad movies where they're like, wow, amazing movie, never seeing that again because it devastated me.
And I'm done with that.
And I'm done with that. But I did recommend it to my mom, even though I told her you might get like annoyed with like certain stuff or be kind of like, because she has like certain things that standards that she's like, no. Although both my parents are like that. They're like, no, why wouldn't? I'm like, let it simmer.
Let it simmer.
But she's like, sometimes she'll be like, no, but then she'll be like, okay, anyway. Like she'll be like that.
But yeah, because like I have things that I
things.
do like about, like things that I do like about it. And things about it that, like I said while we were watching it, reminds me of It Follows in terms of like the way it was shot and like almost the way the characters acted and the scenes and how long they were and things like that. The shots were longer. So I don't know. I did like stuff about it.
Yeah, the mood and like the structure and stuff, like you're saying, like it was very well done. Because director is Curry Barker, who I think, I'm trying to remember if I saw that it's like one of his first. Not his first. Wait, don't misquote me. Hold on. Wait. Let me start that over because I remember reading about this. Let me see.
You did say that, but I'm like, is it real?
It's on IMDb,
is it real?
so it's like, well, it's IMDb,
so I believe
it's
you.
Law, but
also, just a note in case anybody, I moved my camera around and Sarah's like off to the side, so it looks like I'm looking to the side a lot. That's just why.
I can't confirm or deny if this was his first or not. Goodness, hold on. All I know is, okay, well, he wrote and directed the short horror film The Chair and uploaded that to YouTube in 2023.
Well, now I want to watch that because I'm curious.
I know.
Even the name of it is freaking me out. I'm like,
See,
The Chair.
he was inspired to write Obsession after, I remember reading this, that after he watched the episode of The Simpsons about the Homer, it's always about Homer, about the monkey's paw. So it's what you're talking about, how this
That's what we were talking
a
about. Yeah,
monkey's paw.
afterwards. After we saw it, I was like, this reminds me of the short story of Monkey's Paw. And it's literally that.
And it's literally that concept. But he did like write, direct, and edit it. So this was like a very like, that's why it's like so even, no matter how it comes across, like it's a very cohesive like written piece. Like I feel like it all feels like it matches. Even if there's like, even if you can have critiques about certain stuff, it's like, oh, but it all feels like it was like one unified thing. So I feel like that comes across. So I don't know. But yeah, it's very... Like, I was, like, thinking when we were sitting there at the end, like, because it's only got, like, basically, like, 4 main cast members and then just, like, trickles in a few other people. So it's, like, a very, like, small-feeling movie, but in a good way. I feel like that's necessary for this. But
I feel like, you know, knowing that he edited, directed, and wrote it is, like, you can tell, like you're saying, and also I like how it makes it feel more, like, indie, I guess. And that's not, like, always the case. Like, it doesn't make it feel indie per se, but I feel like it, I don't know. Now I'm thinking of Edgar Wright and stuff like that, which he's like not indie, but like it sort of is like, it feels very personal. Like, I feel like I'm like, okay, like you said, cohesive.
Well, that's why, remember how I was telling you that the one thing that I originally was kind of like critiquing where I was like, dang, like only in the beginning half of the movie, I felt like sometimes the script was just kind of like, could have been like, you know, what do you call it, trimmed in some areas, I guess, and like kind of felt like, like this feels a little bit like elongated in this scene and stuff. And then I was reading later that it's like, oh, they did like purposefully, like he does really long takes, right? And he was like saying like, you know, oh, it's kind of hard. He learns that after you do that, we were talking about this afterwards, that like he learns that like long takes means, you know, you can't really fix pacing in post, but like everything has to be very intentional. Like you have to be very intentional about like what you're shooting. But then also like those opening scenes, like the very first like quarter, I guess, of the movie, like it is intentional that they're long takes because you feel very like lived in that moment. Like you feel like, and you feel like the dread kind of also, like,
I was gonna say it's like unsettling when takes are like that. And like we always talk about how we like it when not a shot, like a scene is longer, kind of like when we watched what's it called, Anora.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
Anora, and how long the scenes were, and it feels so like natural, and you literally feel like you're just in the room with these people. Like I love that feeling. It feels more real. So,
and it's hard
but I guess
to pull
like
that off, you know. And it's like, I feel like that doesn't. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's hard to like pull that off because you have to have the actors who can do that, like make it feel like not just like good. A stilted, almost like stage play that's not practiced enough, you know.
Yeah, like you said, it has to be really intentional, or else you're just like. And then if you can't trim it, you're just like, well. But it is true. It's like more like you have to be like theater. Like you have to be like, all right, we're on our beats. Like everything is going, like, you know.
Well,
And I wonder
that's
how
why
much they
that,
rehearsed for
well,
that stuff
that's why I was gonna
instead,
say that
you know?
show that I told you about. Then and most people, not me. I'm like, it's like, it sounds like I just discovered it, but I didn't. It's the adolescence show, that one that the British one that the kid won awards for. Like everyone won awards for it. It was amazing. But it was like when I first watched, it's 4 episodes and about this kid who gets like accused of like killing his classmate. They're like in middle school or something, and so
Yeah.
the whole point of
Middle school. Oh my God.
I think they're middle school. They're middle school. They're young. Like like it's one of those things where you're kind of like, how do you deal with this when a kid is like, oh, he's charged for stabbing the child, and it's like, wait a minute, these are 2 children. It's very
Yeah.
but then you're also like, is he evil? So that's like what the whole
You're like, did he do it?
But it's funny because when I'm watching, the first episode is his home getting raided to find him because they're like, your son. They're like, what? Like our kid is like 10 or like however old he is. He's probably like 13, and they're like, that's whatever. And then the second one is like the lawyer stuff. Like they split it up into 4 episodes, and I was like, okay, this is very intentional. And I had not done any reading before on it, and when I was watching it, I was like, this is a really long take. And I was like, they must be using tricks. Like, why are they doing this such a long take? Like, the fake
They're
outs.
like, no.
No,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like every episode with like none of it is faked. Like whatever you call it, there's a word for it where it's like someone walks in front of the camera and then that's the end of that take.
Yeah. Like transitions.
Yeah,
almost.
transition.
You're
Yeah,
just like, yeah.
And for this one, like it was all 4 episodes. They did that like hour-long takes, and they had like rigs up and everything. And like you're saying, you have to have like a practice. Like they would do. I think they filmed each episode. Like one episode they filmed like 15 times, and then one of them they only filmed twice. Like it depended on what the director was like. That was
Wow.
good. And isn't that insane? And they wouldn't get through all of them because
Yeah.
if someone messes up, they would be like reset and like reset the whole.
Yeah.
Anyway, you
But
should watch it. You should watch it. Very good.
That's why it's only 4 episodes. It's like a mini
Yeah,
series.
it's like a limited series. So, and I was again me halfway through. Wait a minute. Is this
Hold on a second.
Is this a special thing? Oh, it is.
Well, that's so interesting because I feel like there must be so much I don't know. I feel like if I were an actor in that, I would be like, there's so much pressure to be like, what if I'm the one that messes it up? And then you got to be like, well, we were right at the end. Now we got to start all the way over again.
That's
Especially
the
if it's like an
thing.
hour long take.
I felt
I'm like,
anxious
what?
by the finale because at the finale, when there's like the final 2 minutes of the series, I was like, oh my God, the pressure to like get this scene right because you're like, you have
Yeah.
to do the whole thing. I mean, they probably would do it another take anyways because they're like, okay, like whatever. But
Yeah.
like you could tell with like extras or like characters who weren't like big things, like their lines seemed a bit more stilted or more like, okay, do that again. You can't. Like we just gotta keep going. Like you know what I mean? Like it was like
From the
"Can we get
top,
that?"
please.
From the
40
top,
minutes
please.
ago.
Literally.
Yeah.
But that's what's funny too, because the kid who won all the awards for it, the director was saying that was his first ever like any experience on set. So he's like, it was kind of nice because he just thinks that's what movies are like now. Like he thinks that like you're supposed to just do takes like that. So he's like, he's set for life. He can handle any movie.
I know.
Because
honestly, like that's the training that you need to just be like,
Yeah.
all right, and we're good. Like,
Insanity.
but I mean, it just is interesting because again, with theater, people are just like,
right?
we gotta be. But I mean, like people will mess up, but it's like it always seems like they're so flawless when you watch like a stage
Right.
play. You're just like,
Right. And then at least with a stage play, though, you have a little bit more of like here's just one space to make sure like everyone's rotating in and out of it. And this one takes place like in a city in England. So it's like literally or a town in
'cause you're
England. So they have to just keep
moving.
going
Yeah.
through. There's even a shot where like they have a drone go up and then come back down and like film another part of the town. Insane. Anyway.
honestly, now I want to watch this show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's good.
this episode's not about that show, but
We'll cover it though.
shout out. Well,
we
I
can
was
cover
gonna say,
it. It's good.
if it's horror, we could cover it.
Yeah. It's like it's a thriller technically, but you know how
Well,
we
you
are.
know,
You know how we are.
thriller, horror, we're
Thriller,
here for that.
suspense, like drama,
Suspense.
a whole thing.
Yeah.
I like
Well, I can read a little blurb
Yes.
about it.
Yes, sir. We're like,
let you
Allison,
guys know.
now obsession.
Now we're
Ray.
back on to obsession.
It's all relevant.
Okay. Well, I'll give a blurb, a little bit about the ratings that it got, and yeah. Okay. So this Google blurb. Ready? Okay. After breaking the mysterious one-wish willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic gets exactly what he asked for. However, he soon discovers that some desires come at a dark and sinister price. Dun dun dun. And this is the thing that always freaks me out about like I was saying after we watched it, I'm like, I think about like would you rathers, what is it? Would you rather? I guess, right? Like this or that, would you rather, when someone's like, okay, would you rather this or that? And I think in my head I take them so seriously because I'm like, oh my God, I don't because and then or thinking about like making a wish with a genie, you know, in case the moment arises for me. I'm like, you have to be like, harm to none, blah, 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 blah. Like, and I'm like, the thought of like them being like, well, yeah, you can win $1 million, but it's because this person died in your life and you got insurance. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid.
I know.
So I'm like, that freaks me out.
I know, like, truly a knock on wood. I literally am like, let me just
Yeah.
step away from it all. It's
I'm
more
like, you know
so
what?
if I make a wish, it's going to be a generalized, like, peace on earth, joy to everyone, joy to me and my loved ones.
There can't be anything that goes wrong with that.
Nothing.
Right?
Don't. They can't take anything.
Please. But I'm like,
Literally.
but it just freaks me out. So I'm like, yeah, it coming at a sinister price, or, you know, freaks me out. But this movie got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, even though you know how we feel about Rotten Tomatoes.
But it is getting like word of mouth.
It's
like
getting,
I see like all the YouTuber people reviewing it, like everyone's talking about it. So I'm like, okay, it's out here. It's out here.
Most people, like, it's getting like 90% everywhere I'm seeing. Except IMDb gave it 8.2 out of 10.
Oh, interesting.
So.
Huh.
And you said that it was shot in 20 days. Did you mention that?
Yeah, that they
While
shot
we were
like
recording it,
I think it was no, I had mentioned it. Yeah, it was where I think we were at the theater that, or whenever I was looking at the stuff. That like Jason Blum of Blumhouse was basically saying like it's just
Didn't even
insane.
mention.
Yeah,
It was a Blumhouse.
That basically it's like he was like applauding the Curry Barker, right? Isn't that what I say his name is?
Yeah, Curry Barker.
Yes, that it was shot in just 20 days, and it had a let me see, hold on. It says a remarkably compressed schedule for a theatrical feature acquired in a reported $15 million plus deal. And he basically was
the
like,
budget was $1 million.
Yeah, see, like, so he was applauding it, saying like, what Curry pulled off with Obsession on that budget and timeline is genuinely impressive. He shoots like someone who's been making features his whole career. And I was like, dang, I would be like, all right, wrap it up. That I needed that. Thank you, Jason Blum.
Thanks.
Let's like, I can go now.
Eating it up.
I can't.
I can
We're
go
good.
now.
We're good. Yeah. I'm excused.
Thanks.
But yeah, crazy. And also, let's see, it says, I just was reading this right now too, where it says his approach throughout Obsession was to avoid cutting unless absolutely necessary and to eliminate insert shots entirely, with the sole exception being shots of something a character is actively looking at. The entire film is constructed from Bear's perspective. And I was like, yeah, I feel like that's very prominent. Like, you can tell that it's a very, like, we are in Bear's brain, even when we don't want to be. Because sometimes I'm like, don't PMO, you're pissing me off.
We are pissed off. Well, you know, like, I was thinking about that when we were watching it, because I was like, now I'm going to bring up Love in Deep Space, okay? Because I was thinking about how
you want to bring up Love in Deep Space?
Caleb is here.
How Caleb's here. He's working next to me while
he's on the side right now.
Quality time.
Chilling.
Beautiful.
I'm bringing it up because I feel like when we were watching the movie, I was thinking about it because it always reminded me of that, because when we were watching it, I'm like, there's one point where we break off. We don't break off from him, but we're like, Ian goes somewhere with Nikki, like he takes her home, and I'm like, oh, maybe we're gonna see them in the car, and we don't. And I'm like, okay, obviously we're just gonna have like, in that moment I was like, damn, like I wish we could have seen it without him there, because I wanted to witness it. But we hear like about it after, but I'm like, but then in Love in Deep Space, like we only ever see through MC's view, except for that one that you were talking about where you're like, how come in this one flashback we get Zane without her there? So,
and they actually have done it like one more time, I think, where I was, well, they do it with Caleb, so they do that with him.
They did it with Xavier, like when now we're talking about Love in Deep Space, like when she walked away and he was talking.
They done it with Zane first, then they did it with Xavier, and then when Caleb's introduced, like his whole beginning thing is without her there too. But it's funny because the way they narrate it, you're almost like, wait, are we from her? Or she no, never mind. This is like
is she there?
Out or zoomed out kind of thing. But it's funny you bring that up though in the car, because about them, because I remember we talked about it in terms of like, oh, Ian and Nikki are holding this secret, or like you and I were suspecting things. We'll get into that. But like, I kept thinking of that scene about how he was like, the way he acted in that moment. I was like, oh, he does seem like he's like, let me handle this, because like we have
he's like,
talked,
I'll talk to her.
But I'm like, I forget, we didn't get to see, like, what was it like with him? Like, was she just putting up a front in the car with him, that he was convinced that she's just like depressed and going through it or something? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not actually her, so it's like, And if she was coming through, she would be like screaming. She'd be like, I'm freaking out. Like, get me out of here.
I
Like,
assume because of the way he was like, hey, you need to like back off because she's going through it. I'm assuming the car ride, she's just like not herself. Like she's just being mute. And he's like, all right, everyone needs to give you space basically because something's happening. Anyway, as you can tell, we're talking about how
putting up a front where he's like, yeah, she said that, you know, she was just looking at both of us. But you'd think if it was like Nikki, the fake Nikki, it would be like, she'd be like, no, I'm so in love with him, like, you know, but whatever.
Right? That is confusing, like what game she was trying to play in the beginning, because it's like, why wouldn't you, like, you're coming across that way also, but this isn't why you're trying, unless the goal is to obviously push his friends away from him. Like she wants him to be isolated from them, so it's like, if she can stir drama that makes him be like, we're never talking to y'all again, and they're not gonna verify with her obviously because she's gonna be like, peace. So,
she's like, bye.
But yeah, man, okay, so obviously it's funny because the movie's called Obsession, but like in my head I want to call it Possession. Like I'm like, why does it just feel like the whole concept is obviously like a body snatcher situation? And it freaks me out because that freaks me out. There's so many things recently I've watched where it's just like someone, like you being trapped inside of your vessel essentially. And I hate that. And I hate it because also I hate it when there's no like there is a resolution, but I hate it when it's just like, can we find it? Is there not a way to, like, is there not a key? Like, almost like a video game. I'm like, I want there to have been a thing for him to find out, even if you fail at it, even if a character fails at it. I think that's what I was trying to put into words after the movie, where I was like, even when a character fails at getting it like done correctly, I wish sometimes that movies would always have, there's probably a term for it, but not like a what's his name? J.J. Abrams, like, not, you know, his like box mechanism where he's like, you have to have a box and make it a mystery box and you have to figure out what's inside by the end of the movie. Less of that and more so like a key, like, okay, we figured this out. The whole point of now is to figure out how to solve it. So it's almost like I was expecting at one point for Bear to, by the time you'd think that he'd be fed up with all of this, he would have been like, I'm going to go do some real research and figure out how to undo this besides just like calling that number. Like there's got to be other people who've dealt with this. You know what I mean?
The thing is that because he, like, now saying up top, he's the villain of this movie, right? Like, and obviously we're gonna just say he's the villain, okay? And the thing is that like if he really cared more about her, he would have tried to have gotten her out instead of been like, I want to change her to be what I want her to be. But he never did that, because that would have been cool, like you said, if he was like, I love her so much that I want to really try to get her out, instead of making her still be the girl that wants to be with me, like, and still act normal. Instead, he was like like it just kept getting worse. And it's like, it would have been interesting to see like how we could have gotten more answers, or he could have at least tried, even if he failed at the end, like you said. And I would have
you're right though, but it is actually correct in terms of like what the movie is trying to show, that we were like just 100% convinced that he is the bad guy. Because the thing is, okay, like the whole premise of this movie, as Stevie stated, is like he's wanting a wish, right? Boy likes girl, boy wants girl. Boy seems like a very like cutesy guy. Like we were like, oh, because the movie immediately opens with his cat dying, and it's very upsetting. And we're like, also, why did it happen? We're like, what, this cat, he left his like medicine not
his
open,
grandma's medicine,
but like was it not? Did the cat like gnaw into
it? I know
it? Because
it had the safety cap on it, so
like
it's
the
like,
child
how did
lock
this
thing, or not lock, but the child, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, why? I just felt like you'd think that it would have shown that like the cat ate the bottom of it or something, because it looked like someone had just like doop doop opened it and spilled it. And I'm like, what?
I know, clearly the cap was not. He left it out or something.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the grandma, because he like offhandedly says, "Oh, I inherited," which I read something too. I can't remember what it was exactly, but they're basically saying like they went for a different, like they didn't go for the stereotypical like dead grandma's house, kind of like, you know, your late grandma's house that you inherit that's like spooky looking and like has a very like specific aesthetic. Like it had a more like, I guess not modern, but like a very, not modern. It'd be more of like, look more like 80s. 90s kind of, I don't know, they gave a specific thing, but I was kind of thinking that too, where I was like, yeah, like him saying this was my grandma's house, I thought there was going to be more like, ooh, this place is kind of also, and it's like, that's not the scary part, the girl's the scary part.
It definitely felt like, yeah, this is his grandma's house, and
it felt like really a grandma's house
much of it. Yeah, it felt like it would feel, not that grandma's houses are musty, but the energy of that house specifically felt like she wasn't like, you know, because she was like sick at the end. So it's like I felt like there was stale energy in that house, like the
Yeah,
way it
but
looked.
then it
You know
like
what I mean?
matches him, but it like
Yeah.
matches his energy of how he's just kind of like, you know, stagnant in his own life. Like he doesn't want
It's
to
just
make
his
a move.
energy. I'm like,
Yeah,
not to blame the
because
grandma. It's his energy. He
no,
brought
it's his, yeah,
it.
because he's like not willing because he
Yeah.
wants to make a move on her, but he honestly like, and I'm not like faulting him for being nervous about it. I'm faulting him for being like, I'm faulting him for many things, but initially I'm just thinking like, all right, man, you had like 20 times and you're now being like I don't know, and it's like, bro. So I feel like he's very stagnant in his like decision making and his like movements, or at least he was. But going back to the house real quick, I was just saying that, you know, I just liked how it almost felt like truly like our generation's like grandma's like cozy kind of house thing, as opposed to like, ooh, like a
Here's a creepy
Victorian.
house.
Yeah, instead of like a Victorian like conjuring house that it's like, oh, this has been in the house for decades and, you know, or centuries, whatever. So I'm like, it just kind of really fit, and like you're saying, it fit with like it just having this like not dead air, but like, yeah, stale air. So I'm like, you know, it goes. But
It was his air.
yeah,
His musty air.
His poor grandma is like, yay, and he's like, anyway, I'm just gonna. But it's so sad because it opens with that cat having eaten the pills, died, and he's so upset that Stevie and I are obviously empathetic and sympathetic inside that theater at all hours, and we're like upset because we're like, oh, this poor man, because he's like crying. It technically, I guess, you know, I said it opens with that because that's my first memory, but I forgot it opens with him pretending to ask Nikki out on the date. He does have a little skit with his friend Ian and like the waitress at their diner they're at, where it's kind of like, okay, he wants to ask Nikki out. Ian is helping him, except Stevie and I are like, this Ian is his op. This is his biggest op. We can tell.
Yeah, he's like out here being like, Nikki, I love you, and, you know, saying all this stuff, and we're like, oh, he's like, I see you in everything, and I hear you in every song, and like all this stuff. And then it shows a girl, and she's like, and then you just hear Ian be like, what? No, that was dumb. Like, do that again. And then we find out it's a waitress. But we're like, the way Ian is acting, like you said, we're literally like, I'm like, this guy likes her. He's trying to like sabotage you from, and not because he's like, that was dumb. Like, he would be like, well, I know Nikki. Like, she doesn't like that.
It came off not in a way of like, dude, I'm telling you, this is gonna only be successful. Because then he starts saying like, don't do it at trivia night. Like, that's my one night. And I'm like, why? Like, why would that ruin your night if he just like, because your friends will just like, she'll freak out or something? And I'm like, well, then are you saying that she would never accept him? Because if you're saying for her to do it after, then you're already saying that she's not going to want to be with him. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know. She's just being weird about it.
Right. Because then he's like,
being selfish about it, as opposed to being like, dude, I promise you she would want to do it not in front of people. Like, wait, like even before, like call her before, like talk about it before. Like, you know, he was just being not a great friend about it.
Yeah,
so
because he was like, you have time, like you can do it later. You have time to do it. Like, just don't do it yet. And I'm like, it was just like, why are you going back and forth, dude? Why are you trying to help him but not help him, but clearly, and whatever. So like you said, they go home. He goes home. The cat is dead, and he's upset about it. And I didn't know that night was going to be trivia night. I thought it was going to be like another day.
Yeah.
And she's calling him. Nikki's calling him like, hey, are you coming? And he's like, no, I don't think I'm going to come. And obviously, immediately you can tell he's like, oh my God. He's like, she's calling me. And he's all like bashful about it. And then she seems to like him too. Honestly, like I couldn't tell. Like the way she was acting towards him in the whole beginning part, I'm like, she might like him and kind of be hiding it, like, because she would like be a little, sorry, Luna is like, can I sit in your lap? She might like him and like be like kind of hiding it or being flirty, but in that sorry, her claw is stuck on me, Luna. I don't know, I couldn't tell. It could have gone either way, but I kind of felt like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
before
I felt
she
like,
said,
one, her call later freaked me out at first. Like the way she was kind of like being like, not freaked me out, but like she was just being kind of like flighty, but also flirty. Like she was kind of doing like a, oh, you have to come, Bear, and oh, I dropped my necklace, and then she's like, I have to tell you something. It's like, okay, what? And then he's being so excited because he's like, what? And she's like, well, I'm actually, I put my 2 weeks in because you come to find out all their 4 little quad friend group works at like a record store. That their friend Sarah's dad like runs, I guess. We didn't know it was her dad for a while, but it's her dad. And so
I was like, man, this guy really cares about his employees.
Invested
he's
in
like
their
a dad.
futures.
Yeah, I was like, he's like a dad to all of them. And then
2 minutes later,
dad. And I'm like, oh, that is her dad.
That's so funny. But I know, I'm like, so you're like, he's like, which is funny because you think that she would have said also you're out of focus.
Yeah. I saw
Could you
that.
take a step
Hello?
back, Mr.
Could you
Bigfoot?
take a step?
You're out of
Hello?
focus.
Camera? Camera? You want to focus?
Camera.
There we go.
Caleb's telling me
There we
more
go.
time. More time with Caleb. Okay. Anyway, I was saying that that you would think that she had said like I'm moving from the way he was like, oh my god, like
I
I'm
thought
gonna
that
miss
she was
seeing
gonna
you.
move. Yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
I
And
gotta
I'm
go.
like,
Like I'm getting out. I'm quitting. And he's
Yeah.
like, what? And I'm like, I thought she was gonna be like, well, because I got accepted to, or I got a new job over here.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't going anywhere. I was like, oh.
I know, but he was like, I mean, I get it. Like, obviously, if he's like, I want to see you every day, and you won't, but and was like, do they not hang out? They clearly hang out outside
I know
of
they're
work. Yeah,
they're like four best friends.
Yeah. So either way, well, one, he had just been sobbing about his cat, and so then he's like, well, I'm literally not gonna go, and then she's like, no, and so he's convinced to go, of course, and so he shows up at trivia night, which again likes to be said. I was like, oh, I did not know that this was okay. Like, I don't even know. Even when she called him, I was thinking, is she talking about a different thing happening tonight? 'Cause I'm like, trivia night.
Is this the same trivia
The
night?
same trivia? What? 2 trivia nights in a week? No.
What?
Oh, it's funny. But they get there. And it's so funny for how eager this man is for her to for him to ask her out and for her to like him back. Like, I feel like he just literally keeps like being a little wimp about it, being like, not a wimp, but I don't know. He just keeps being like, oh, and I'm like, dude, you had 20 openings to say something, even casually, even like, not even like a confess your heart out. Like, he could have just been like, hey, like, you want to get out of here? You want to go? Like, hey, whatever.
Yeah, that's what Ian said too when they were practicing. He's like, why don't you have to start flirting with her? Like, have you ever actually flirted with her? Like, try to actually, playfully
We're like, you
tease
know what?
her.
Ian had a few points.
Yeah. Like, he was being helpful, but then at the
Yeah.
same time, low key being like, we're like, we see you though. Like, we see how you're acting,
It's
even though
weird
you're
because I'm
being
like,
helpful.
I could never tell if it was like true jealous vibes or more just like him being like, this isn't gonna work because I know her. But also maybe it is if you guys flirt. I don't know. I'm like, because I feel like I couldn't tell if he was actually like maybe just not even possessive over her. He might just be like, okay, like whatever, it works out with you guys, but it's not gonna. Like, I don't know. So I can't tell if he was giving a few little sprinkles of like,
He's
okay,
like,
but don't be weird about it.
He's like, but if you're gonna do it right then. I know, but it seemed to me that I was like, yeah. But also,
No, it was
before he
suspicious
gets,
hours.
Oh yeah, we were both like, all right, this guy, all right. But before he gets to the bar, he goes to like a witchy shop because she dropped her necklace down the drain.
Yes.
So he's like, let me go get her a necklace or something. And
That's right.
so he goes there. And then he just like, I don't like any of this stuff. And also the way they talk about Nikki, it's like she's like kind of, because one of the crystals is citrine, and the person who worked there was like, that's like sunshine on a rock. And he's like, Nikki would hate that. And then the way Ian was talking about Nikki, they're like, she doesn't like sappy stuff. And I'm like, so is this girl like one of those like gothy, like hard ass girls or something? But then like she kind of, I could see that in a way, but like, I don't know. Anyway, they kind of made her seem like she's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, not as like
they
sweet,
did.
outwardly sweet.
But then she's obviously, but then they showed that deliberate
not-
scene of her like giving money to that guy.
Yes.
That it was seen from Bear's point of view as if like, which is why in my head I was like, you know what, this guy really likes her, like not just like sexually wants to be with her, not just like infatuated. I thought in that moment, not anymore, but in that moment I'm like, wow, he like sees her as like a good person he's like admiring and also like in love with. And then got squashed later in my head. But,
no,
like,
literally the way
moment,
they lead it up, there you're like, oh, okay, like he likes her and like he actually likes her for who she is. She gave money to this unhoused person, like you said. And that's what I was going to say too, where I'm like, okay, so like if she's like this person who's like, I mean, you don't have to be, you can be kind and not,
yes, of course.
And not be like, oh, I want to be all like sunshine and rainbows, you know what I mean? But it's just funny that there's like sort of an back and forth with that. But
it's almost like they were trying to paint her as like not a pick-me girl, but like, I mean, the definition online of a pick-me girl, whatever. Right. You know what? Let women just exist. But it's like, it feels like they were trying to be like, almost like she doesn't want blah, blah, blah. But they like obviously think like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. And you're right. Like they were all saying these things. And I'm like, do you guys, especially Bear now, I'm like, do you know her? Like, why are you even, you know what?
It's funny because like the other friend, Sarah, she's more like edgy looking.
Yeah.
And she you'd think that she would be the one that they would be like, oh, she doesn't like
right,
bright colors and like
she's a tattoo artist or wanting to be one.
She's a tattoo artist.
Right? Yeah.
She was so cool.
She was so sweet though,
yeah,
too.
so nice. She was very nice. So it's like almost like the opposite in terms of this one looks like this and the other one looks like that, but then maybe their personalities are swapped, whatever. But anyway, so when he's at the store, he doesn't get her a rock or a crystal because he's like, you know what, never mind. So he sees this thing that says like one wish in a box, and
One
it's
Wish
like
Willow. One Wish Willow. Right? Yeah.
And is the company, and it's like one wish, like impress your friends, and it's one per customer, so like literally once you make one wish you can't make any more and all this stuff, and it's like it looks like a gag gift. And also the people who work at this store we're talking about, that they're just like so ridiculous. They're just like,
it's like a parody almost, like they seem like it. Yeah,
they seem like caricatures of like not someone who would work at a crystal shop though. Like I feel like when I go to crystal shops, people they don't seem like witchy, they just seem like assholes.
Right, but it's like, but then they still seemed like they knew what they were talking about too. Right. At first I thought like after like some of the bit that they would go, dude, I don't know, I just work here. Yeah, like I don't know anything, whatever. But they knew stuff, so it was like okay. But there was just like such a funny vibe that I was like, what? Which was clearly intentional because both of them were like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, someone else worked there too, and I'm like, do these people like? But it makes sense with like the people whatever entity owns One Wish Willow has a similar vibe. So I'm literally like, does that entity own this store? Like, what is this? But
understand. Also, anyway, so the design, sorry, real quick, the design of it also reminds me, I know you're telling it looks like, well, one, apparently they like worked so hard on this design, obviously, to make it look like nostalgic. Yeah. It's like both nostalgic, but also very like the way, I don't know, like all these things of it. But it also reminds me of like the little things, what is it, the finger, what are those called?
Finger traps. And
yes, finger traps.
A Swedish fish, not the Swedish fish, the candy, but you remember the fish that you would buy, and it was like a flat fish.
Oh, the peeling
and you would
one?
put it in your hand.
Yeah, and it would peel up.
Put it in your hand, and it would either like if it moved up,
depending, that meant
something. So it's definitely like nostalgic of like those.
You know,
things
we were talking about Cracker Barrel. We were talking about Cracker Barrel the other day, and it is reminding me of like not almost like of what a Cracker Barrel is spoofing, like not spoofing, but you know how Cracker Barrel is trying to be like that mom and pop's like kind of like trinket store,
like a penny nickel shop.
Yeah, and so it's like that kind of thing is found in those places where it's just like, anyway, cute little wish.
Now I'm thinking about the Hester and whatever one from Dino Land.
Dino Land USA. Roadside souvenir shop or little from the museum. If you know, you know. We can't get into Animal Kingdom lore all on this one episode, but we really can in the future. But we can one day. Is there we cover the dinosaur movie? Thank you. Yeah, it is a horror. Yeah, there's death and there's scariness. Dare I say the comet in the sky?
Wait, it's Hester and what is it?
Oh my gosh,
not Jester. Why am I thinking Hester and Lester?
No, hold on. Well, actually, hold on. Chester and Hester. So you were right though about the rhyming. Chester and Hester.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew it rhymed, but I was like, I didn't think you'd think I would remember Chester. But I remember Hester, which is like never a name, I feel. So, anyway.
But it seems like more like what, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, it reminded me of that.
But it just like the shape is and it just looks like a little wooden thing, but it's like, anyway. So yeah, he gets one of those because I don't even know why he's drawn to it really. He's just like, okay, because he's going to get it for her.
Yeah, like I think it was because he was like, no, well, it was for himself because he was like, when he checked out, he's like, I didn't find anything for her, but I got this. But then he ends up saying to her later, he's like, I got you something. Right. So I feel like he originally was like, I'll use it. But then he was like, you know what? I'm going to give it to her. But who knows? You know what? Maybe he lied to the person.
Yeah. Because it's like he gets it, right? And then the girl is saying like, yeah, just the one that works there is like, you know, just don't like come back with complaints. And he's like, what? Like people complain about like this novelty gift? She's like, yeah, like, well, when it doesn't go right, you know.
She was giving him no information. He was like, she's like staring at him. He's like, why? And she's like, well, you know. And he's like, does it like it's a scam? And she's like, hey, we're not a scam, man. And she's like, no. He's like, no.
Like, I'm just wondering, like, if they don't get their wish, well, yeah,
or it works too well. Like,
he's like, so it works, and she's like, hey, man, like, just call. Listen, like, does she say call the number if you have a problem or something? He's like, she's basically just like, don't look at me. And he's like, okay. And he's like, this is literally a fake like
He's like,
eyelash
this
wish. Like, what are we talking
jacket?
about here? Like, what is
She's
that?
like,
But he's
no, it works.
yeah,
And
and he's like,
also, like,
okay.
she's like, watch out because it might work too well. Like, it's real. And so then they go to the trivia night. He's trying to ask her out. He's trying to be like, all right, like, Ian, take Sarah out. Like, take
And
her
Ian's
aside.
not helping at all because he's literally his enemy, but it's fine.
He's literally like, I said not during trivia. Like, get out
And I'm
of here.
like,
And
Ian,
he's like,
can you just, like, it's happening. So can you just, like, be a friend, be a pal, huh? And
be a friend.
Be a friend, huh?
Be a
Will you
pal.
friend, huh?
Would you just?
And he's
And
just
so-
like, immediately they crash every, like, moment because he's like, okay, I'll go with you to the bar. And Nikki's like, okay. They go up there. I think it's like they're up there, but then Sarah and Ian show up or
comes
something.
up, then Sarah comes up. He's like, oh, my cat died, and Sarah's like, what?
And because
And
at this
then-
point, the other
yeah.
two walked away, right? And
Yeah.
so Sarah's the only one comforting him because she's like, oh my God, why are you like Bear? And he's like,
I know.
yeah. And it's just sad because you can tell that she's like, what? Like, and I'm sure the other two would be this way too, or like Nikki would be that way too. But I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
why wasn't on the phone? Why didn't he say, like, I'm not coming because my cat died? Like, hello?
I know. He's like, I'm doing stuff, and she's like, what? Cleaning up my dead
It's-
cat.
Like, literally sobbing, but okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sobbing.
And they all clearly do get the memo because when they're walking out, they're like, we're sorry about your cat, Bear. Like, they're all just
Yeah.
kind of like telling him. And then
Then
Ian wants
he
to go
goes to
somewhere
drive.
else, right?
Yeah, they're like, let's go to trivia. I mean, the trivia. Let's go
Another
to
trivia night.
trivia.
Keep it going.
A trivia crawl. They're like, they're gonna
That's
go
our
to
kinda night.
karaoke. I know. They're gonna go to karaoke, and so Nikki's like, no, I'm going home. I'm tired. Blah blah blah. So then that's when Bear's like, well, fine, I'll take you home. And Ian's like, you can tell he's like, bro. And so
Because does he say? I can't remember if he says like, okay, then lock it in, bro. If you're gonna do that, like, if you're, I feel like he does something where it's
Well,
kind of like, all right, or
he
he's upset,
goes-
but then he's like, okay, like either freaking do it or don't because you're annoying me,
do it
basically.
or not. And then he goes, get your girl home safe. And
That's
then Nikki's
it.
like, ew, don't say it like that.
Which-
And then Ian's like, oh no, like that's not a good sign. And he like kind of looks at Bear. And so they're driving home. That's when he tells her, like, I have something for you. And then she's talking about, this is something that, like, we thought about later. And I keep thinking about every single time. I'm like, because she's a writer. And she's like, I'm writing a new book. Like, I need to leave our job, because, like, I need more things to happen to me so I can, like, write. And, I don't know.
And she was
He's
so
like,
insightful
what?
about it too, which I love
Yeah.
hearing people talk about writing stuff because I love writing. I was like,
Sarah's a writer.
We're like,
This Sarah
this Sarah's
is a
a writer.
writer.
The other, yeah, but
The other Sarah
but
was
it's
sex
like,
writers.
yeah,
But like
but
you
the
said,
way
but she was like,
she
Go
was
ahead.
just so
She was, like,
insightful where she's
insightful.
like, you have to like, she's like, you don't have to like live to write about stuff, but I want to like write about, like, you know what I mean? Like, she was
Yeah.
just so like, she's like, I need to get out there and I need to start doing this. And he's like, oh, okay. And then like, go ahead into what she leads into about like the comparison.
So she, because she's like, I don't know, like, fall in love or experience love. And he's like, obviously he's like, what? Like, love, like, are you writing a romance then? And she's like, no, like, I'm writing a love story. And he's like, well, isn't romance and love story, isn't that the same thing? And she's like, no, like, romance and a love story are not the same thing. And that's literally the theme of this. I mean, multiple themes, but like the theme of this story is that, where I'm just like, wow.
It is, though. That was a
They
perfect
just-
like layup for it, because I think I told you that like when she first said it, I was like, it's true. Like in my head, I'm thinking like it's true. Like love story could be between a parent and child. It can be between siblings.
that's
It can
true.
be between friends, right? But that's like where my head was at, and it's like, no, this is gonna take it much darker.
Yeah, this is dark.
Not
because
So it's,
this
that was a
movie
great
is
setup.
about, this is a romance movie, but it's not a love story, because it's like, I was gonna say something else about that too.
Because did she say something right after? I can't remember. If
She
he's just
said
kind of like,
something-
okay, like he is listening
Yeah.
at least. Because at first I thought she was kind of being like, are you just making fun of me? But she was like, okay, I'm glad I can talk to you about this, and you actually like want to hear about it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I bought something for you. And she's like, oh my God, no, like, now I'm nervous. Like, what is it? And he's like, why are you, that's a weird reaction. Like, why are you nervous? And
yeah,
she's
he's like, wait, why?
She's like, I don't know, just whatever. And he's like, well, I'll tell you when we get there. So he gets there to the house, and also earlier, Ian to Bear was like, why don't you flirt with her? Like, call her Freaky Nikki. And she's
I
like,
forgot
he's
he
like,
said that. Oh
yeah,
my
he's like,
gosh.
call her that. And Bear's like, she hates that. Like, no, like,
Forgot
that would
about
offend
that.
her. And he's like, no, like, bring up in 8th grade when they used to call her that, whatever. And he's like, whatever. So then Nikki's like gonna leave because of course he doesn't say anything.
But then she brings up, but this is the thing that we were trying to talk about, where she's like, oh, were you about to say this about Sarah? Where
oh yeah, no, bring
she
it
like
up.
randomly, not random, but she kind of is like, okay, they're getting dropped off, and then she says, like, which we were saying, like, when a girl says this, it technically could be either way, I guess, depending on how she says it. But she's kind of like, hey, like, you know, do you like Sarah? And he's like, what?
Like, what do you think about Sarah?
Yeah, what do you think about her? And it's clearly from like a point of like, hey, I'm trying to test the water. Like, what do you think about her? And it's like, what? And he's like,
for Sarah, it felt like, you know, like,
yeah, exactly. Like as if Sarah was like,
know.
you know, I do like Bear. Like, can you just see if he like would ever be interested? And he's like, I'm trying to remember if I think he's just like so caught off guard because he's like, what? Like, no.
Yeah, he's like,
or he's like, she's my friend.
As a friend,
yeah. And she's like, well, doesn't she say like she talks about you a lot or something like that?
She said that like she said, because he's like, well, like how? Like, I mean, I like her as a friend. She's like, no, like, you know, what about like a crush? And then she mentions that like Sarah like has a crush on him, you know, and they like kind of talked about it. And he's like, oh, like, no, I just like her as a friend. And she's like, oh.
Which if I was Bear, I'd be like, okay, clearly Nikki's comfortable enough to try and be like, get me to see if I like Sarah and stuff, to get like,
yeah.
I'd be like, oh, maybe Nikki doesn't like me then. Although, of course, there's always, you never know. Someone could be saying that to be like, I'm just seeing if this works out because I like you and I'm just doing this as a friend, you know? So I guess it's
or
not
the thing where you're like, does, like, if he says he doesn't like her, then that means, okay, maybe he likes me. Like, you know, when people will ask somebody and be like, you know what I mean? Like, either way, it can be like a test of like, if he's like, no, well, I like you, like, you know, and that would be his chance.
Because I guess guys operate different too. Because I'm trying to think of like if a guy was saying that to me, where they're like, my buddy likes you, I'd be like, but I like you. Like, would I think all of a sudden, great, he doesn't like me because he's trying to set me up with his friend back there? But then it's like, I guess guys are different too. You can never tell. I don't know. But every scenario is different, you know.
Who knows? But clearly it felt to us like.
But you and I were like,
I don't think she likes him. Like,
drop her off. Yeah. Just be like a dude.
Well,
love that.
Call it a life. Just
call it.
You know what?
That would have been
Sarah.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's why I'm like, much to say. But so she's getting out of the car, and this is what you're about to say, right? Where he's like, she's about to leave.
Yeah, he's trying to like kind of tell her, and she's like, well, anyway, I gotta go, like, I'm leaving. And he like misses opportunity to say anything. He tries to kind of say like, hey, remember when we were in school? And she's like, Bear, whatever, like, I'm leaving. So she goes inside.
Like cuts him off. She's like, yeah, I did that because he's like, remember when you gave me? She's like, yeah, I did that because of blah blah blah. Bye. And he's like,
yeah, he's trying to be like, you were so nice. And she's like, no, I wasn't being nice. I just did that because
I did that because the other person needed whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like,
or at school. And he's like, well. And then he goes, okay, well, bye, Freaky Nikki. And then she's like, I love the shot. I do like the shots and the way that they like frame this movie. It's so creepy. Because again, this is why it just sticks with me so much. Because again, there's so many other movies or so many other like stories where you're like, well, that could be technically like creepier or like more horror or something like that, but it's like the way that they shoot it, it's just like there's so many shots where you don't see people's like faces, especially Nikki,
because it's literally like her down from her, like her hands are on her hips or like she's holding her bag, and you just see below like her chest,
and she turns around like so abruptly, and she's like, what did you know, I don't like that. And he's like, no, like I was just joking. And then she comes back and it's him talking
to her through the window. It's like you just see the body, and then her coming up close to be like duck into the window, being like, you know, I don't like that.
She's like, you know, I don't like that. And then he's like, no, I was just joking. But it's like, it is truly through his perspective in so many ways, like wherever we're at, or it's like we can only see her through how he sees her, which is like through the window and like things like that. So when she turns around, she's like, do you like me?
Yeah.
And you can,
now's the time. Tell me now.
He's like, what? And she's like, because now would be the time to tell me. But it's like,
she's doing it in a way though that it's kind of like, also I feel like, I mean, obviously she's trying to do like, tell me now so we can squash this, basically, as opposed to
I know, but
like,
even still, like even in this moment, like when she was asking about Sarah, I was like, okay, well, it seems like she doesn't like him. Like Sarah does, and she's like that. But then sometimes she would say something, because she was saying in the car, like, if I like someone, no one knows it. Like,
That
no one
is
would know
true.
it.
That is
And
true. I
then-
was thinking that too. Yeah, where I was like, wait, so maybe she's like, I'm playing the long game here. Like, even if I'm with Ian, even if Sarah likes you, if you like me, we can talk about this because nothing's happened yet. Like, we're nothing serious. We could make something work, but I need you to tell me because I'm not gonna prolong this.
It seems like, yeah, I'm not gonna play this game. So like, if you tell me now, it's like, maybe I do feel that way about you. Like, we can explore it. We can go on a date or something, or like, you know, whatever. But when he says, like, he's like, no, we're just friends, and we're like, dude, can you just, the way she laid it up for everyone was giving him layups the whole time. He just wasn't taking it, and I'm just like, what is? And so then he's like, so her reaction again, I was like, duh, is she? She was like, oh. She's like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm gonna go back inside. But the way she reacted again, I was like, does she? It literally is
like the Sarah Bareilles song. I want to see you be brave. Like, she's literally like, can you just speak up? Because if you're brave enough to tell me, because you think he would be,
then maybe we'll explore it.
Yeah. Then he's like, if you can tell me to my face, like, I think we could have something. But it's just like, she's like, you're not.
Yeah, stop. Like, she wasn't. It seemed like she's like, I'm not opposed to it, but like, you're being weird. Like, just do it or no. Like, anyway, he says no, so she walks away, and then he's like, she goes inside, and then he pulls out the freaking wish thing, and he's like frustrated, and he's like, I wish Nikki likes me more than anyone in the fucking world, and he like breaks it, and then we just see that she's on the porch again. In creepy shadows. Again, we can't
standing
see her.
Almost like a girl, like kind of like her.
She's like with her arm, like she's kind of with her hip out.
Yeah,
hip out, like
in darkness.
Everything. I love every frame, the way they frame everything, and the way that people stand, and the way they wear, like, hold themselves. Anyway, whatever. It's creepy.
Freaky though.
So she's like backlit from the porch light, by the porch light, and so he's like, hello, and then she's just standing there silently, and I just heard something, and I'm like, was that my cat? Was that? Wait, I heard a noise, and it wasn't Luna. So I'm like,
well, Beanie's in the room though.
But now I'm freaked out. Oh wait, maybe it was the trash people. I think it was the trash.
Oh,
let me see if it was the trash. Yeah, it was the trash. It was the trash.
Trash
Everybody
people.
Calm down.
Everybody
calm down. It was the trash. I'm like, I told you this movie freaks me out, and I don't like that. I'm like, we're literally talking about when she's creepy. And
I know,
like, I just hear like a bang outside my door, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, the shot is creepy.
No. Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, the shot. No, it's just. I have nothing else to say except that it's freaky.
Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna say. So now she comes to the door, and she's like really quiet. She's like, "You said you have something for me?"
Oh yeah.
And he's like, but he obviously doesn't have it anymore.
Just used it. Yeah.
So he's like, I left it at home, and she's like, oh. And then obviously not acting like herself. So we're just like, what is going on? Like, because we know what's going on.
Gets in the car, basically. Like, she keeps doing this thing where it's like, I don't know what order anymore, but she either sits in the car, gets back in, keeps like just saying stuff to him, goes back around to his past, like the driver's side, to talk to him from that side. Literally comes back
not
around.
Not acting like Nikki.
Yeah, not acting like herself.
At this point, we know how Nikki is.
Yeah.
Too.
And she switches into all of a sudden saying, I'm really, I want to go, like, I don't want to go, like, can you come in with, like, basically trying to say, I don't want to leave you. Like, I want us to stay, together for right now. And he's like, what's going on? Like, why are you acting like this?
Yeah, she's, like, acting like she's, like, I'm like, she's an NPC right now, because she was like, I'm really sorry.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah.
She goes,
yeah.
I'm
I want to go home with
sad.
you because of, yeah.
No, she says, I'm really sad because my cat died, and he's like,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Where I was like, that's the part that I was like, she immediately is like trying to lock into this character's backstory, this lore, and she's already messed up, because it's like, because she was using that as a reason. She's like, I'm really sad, I don't want you to leave me right now because of my cat. And he's like, your cat? And she's like, he's like,
you mean my cat?
Your cat? Oh yeah. And it's like, and that's kind of the only time we really see her have like a major slip up in talking. Like, it's almost like she's like, oh, okay, like, I need to, like, be vague, or I need to not give personal stuff yet until I
feel like she did it more they'll like, she did do it a few times where I'm just like, she's literally like calibrating. She was like, and then this, and then
But
she
I
went
felt
to the
like
other
with like
side. She's like,
information though, like she wasn't doing it as much with like information where it was like you're your parents and it's like who, like I
yeah,
don't, you
yeah,
know what I mean,
not,
like it was
yeah,
more
yeah,
like
yeah.
she just got freakier obviously. But that was the moment where like, all right, this is obviously not even her being like controlled, it's literally like it's not her anymore. Like it was so upsetting.
It literally felt like an NPC, and I'm literally just like, so she's like, can you just actually, like, my dad's dying, like, and I went in there and it just all hit me, and I thought she lived with her dad the
Me
way that she was like, I
too.
went inside and she doesn't,
Yeah.
because
No,
he
it's
lives
like
like in San Francisco or something,
mm-hmm.
and she's like, can you just take me to your house, like, and so they go back to his house, and she I'm
And
like
he's
freaked out just
acknowledging
talking
where
about this movie.
he's like, yeah, you're not acting. He's like, he's laughing because he's like, why are you acting like this? Like, this isn't how you, like, what do you do? I've never seen you get this way. You're like, you must be drunk, you're tipsy, whatever. And she's like, I'm just sad. Like, take me, whatever. So then they get to his place and we were surprised because the way she's like, oh, wow, this is it. And we're like, what? She's never been to his place? But it's
Yeah.
because he just inherited, I guess, that house from his grandma. Because she's like, it's bigger than your last place or something. She says something about it being different than his
Yeah.
last place. And we're like, okay.
This movie's freaking. I don't know
I
why. Just
know.
going through
I
it
don't
again,
even
I'm
like
freaked out. I don't.
I like
No,
don't even
hold
want to
on.
like go
I'm
through
scared.
details.
I
Like
don't
I don't
want to
even
go
want
through
to talk.
details either.
I
I
don't
know
either.
that's
Like
like the point of our podcast, but I'm like freaked out. Like,
yeah, but y'all
thinking
can
about it.
imagine.
Now
Okay,
that
like
we're
we don't
getting
need
into it,
to. I know
I'm like.
because it's
Anyway.
like the first night's not as crazy though because the first night she's like just back and forth, keeps trying to be like, okay, like well, can I stay here? Basically leading into the fact of can I sleep here? Can I sleep in this bed? Can you sleep with me in the bed? And he's like, this is like every 2 seconds he thinks
He's
that he's
like,
just
oh
trying
my
to take care.
god, like.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's
He
taking care of a drunk
knows.
Nikki, but he's also like, okay, but then he's like, okay, I'll get into bed with you. But then she's like, taking off her clothes and he's like, oh my God.
She's like, this is nice. And then she starts like kissing him, and he's like, wait, wait, wait. And then like, because he wants to make sure that she actually would want to do it. And then she keeps kissing him, and then she looks at him and she's like, ah, like she freaks out. She
and
starts
falls
yelling,
backwards
and she
like
falls, and he's like,
I think
what
I read
the fuck was that?
also was like one of the first like the first days of filming or something, which I was like, oh my gosh. But it was like the first, like that was her first take of doing that of like, oh my God, falling back. And I'm like, and she like freaks out, but then she snaps back into it. Like she literally was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then she literally like falls back.
He's like, no, Nikki, what was that? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like every time real Nikki comes out,
Yeah.
he like is like, what? And she's like, oh no, like I'm sorry. Like throughout the whole movie, either when Nikki comes out or if she acts like really possessive, and he's
Yeah.
like, what the hell was that? Like she's like, no, like I'm ruining it. Like no, like I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh my God. So she did that, and she's like, I'm like.
You know what? This movie should have been called Possession, because then it's like possessive over him and then also possessing somebody,
Yeah.
But yeah, like she like freaks, like she gets so like, oh please don't be mad, and he's like, I'm not, I'm just like, what like are you? Because he's concerned that like later on the way he acts, you're like, oh, are you actually? He is concerned about this, about trying to be like, is this consensual? Like, are you freaking out because you don't want this? But and so she's like, no, it's not that. Like, I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. And he's like, okay. And like, they don't kiss anymore. I think they just fall asleep together.
Yeah,
right?
they go to bed, and there was a weird part with the clock, and maybe that was just like an
We
error
what we both saw.
in
We both
editing.
clocked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were like, it had the
Clocked it.
12. Yeah, we were like, it's midnight, and then 2 minutes later, after like she gets back into bed with him, it's 6.
It was like
6 a.m. or
6:30
something.
a.m. and we're
Yeah,
like, okay.
we're like, was this a weird time warp thing? I thought that was going to be that at first.
know. Yeah, but I think it was
weird.
just maybe an error. Like what's it called? What's it called? Oh my God.
A continuity.
A continuity error. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the next day they go to work, and the next day he wakes up and he's like, oh, okay, like where is she? Because she was being like weird, obviously. And he sees that she made him breakfast, and then he goes to the kitchen, and you hear like flies, and she had brought the dead cat in and made, like, the dead cat is like on a shrine memorial thing with candles, and he's like, and again it does that thing where it pans down to the cat and you can't see their heads, and it's just showing the cat, and they're talking above it, and they're like, he's like, Nikki, like, this is not okay. And she's like,
yeah.
what? Like, it's a memorial. No, like, I thought you'd like it. And he's like, no, like, this is objectively, this is not okay. Like,
he pisses me off though, because it's like the way he talks to her, it's like he almost knows that she's an alien. Like, he's literally like, this isn't a normal thing, don't do this. And it's like, bro,
right.
Why are you not
Like,
freaked out that your friend Nikki all of a sudden lost all social norms, lost all like her wits about her? Like, she's not drunk anymore, so why are you like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm like, bro.
And when he goes to work, he's talking to Ian, and Ian's like, dude, like, you guys came in together. Like, what happened? Like, clearly you guys hooked up. And he's like trying to explain to Ian, like, no, it's like, there's something wrong with Nikki. And the whole time Nikki's like staring in the background. Staring.
And
just,
I'm like, Ian, why are you not freaked out about that? I'm like, Ian, that's like, he's just like, oh yeah, she's still looking. And I'm like, why are you not registering that that's weird? Like, what is...
I know. I'm like, why is no one noticing that she's clearly not acting like a human? Not just Nikki. She's just not even acting like a human, like a real person.
At all. It's so strange.
Yeah. Ugh. And he's trying to say, like, no, she must be... Bear's like, I think she's going through, like, a mental breakdown. Like, there's something wrong with her. And it's really confusing in terms of, like, obviously... I know in the back of... In his heart of hearts, he knows why she's acting like this. To me, I'm like, he knows that wish worked. And because there's no way... Like, I feel like he knows, like, something freaking happened, and this is because there's no way that she would be, like, whatever.
Well, I was looking it up, too, because I forgot that she uses the excuse that she was, like, on ecstasy or on whatever you call it.
Well, right now is when Ian was, like, well, you know, he's like, no, she must have taken, like, something, you know, whatever. Like, he must have been on
What
Molly.
Is it, MDMA or whatever?
Yeah, she must have been on Molly. And he's like, oh, yeah, like, it must have been that. And then later when Ian takes her home, he, quote-unquote, confirms it. Calls Bear the next day, that night, and was like, yeah, I took her home and she said that she was on something. That must be what it is. And Bear's like, yeah, I was looking it up, and like those are the symptoms she was having, whatever. Then she gets.
But then she shows up at his place that night.
Shows up at his place. Yeah.
Which again, mind you, I was like, he's using the spoof of ChatGPT to like look up like, why is symptoms.
Random AI.
So much AI, yeah.
There was like not real AI, but like they're using AI. You know?
Yeah, and then there was like another image that looked like AI generated when they like did like a couple's photo or something. I was like, but it looked like those typical like Facebook ones where someone did like, and I was like, that's so on brand though. Like it's so whatever. But she shows up there, and is it that night? I guess.
Yeah, that's when she goes kind of... like, yeah, she's basically like, again, in the shadows, creeping me out. Can't see her face. She's kind of like, well, you know, like, sorry, I took something. And again, we know she's saying this because like Ian probably said, hey, were you on something? And then the character of whatever is possessing Nikki is like, oh, yeah. I'm going to say that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, you know what? Let's get them to, yeah.
Yeah, like, this isn't something that like was actually like conjured up by whoever the hell, whatever, the fake Nikki. Anyway, she basically was like, do you like me? And he's like, no, again. And we're like, oh my God. And then she's like, well, he's
this
like,
girl
why?
has her tongue down his throat, and he's like, I think I should still not tell her. I'm like, I know things are weird. I know things are weird in general, but I'm just saying that, like, if you're gonna, like, why can't you just say that at least? Even if you were gonna be like, but you're not acting like yourself, Nikki. But yes, I do like you. Like, you know?
Yeah, like, for his purposes of, like, if this were the case, like, if she continues to be like, hey, and he's like, no. And it's like, when are you gonna tell her then, dude?
What is happening? What's going on?
Oh, what's going
doing?
Oh, what are we doing? And then he's like, why do you like me? And she's like, well, what if I do? Like, would that freak you out? Anyway, then it's a montage of them dating, right? And everybody
like
around them is
on, like
full dating.
Yeah.
They seem like from the outside, it's like, okay, they're interacting from what we see.
Well, it looks like they had however many days that was. Like, it looks like they had like a normal week, basically, of like dating. So for at least a little while, he was like, this is like, I guess because it was just like such introductory stuff. Like, oh, we're hanging out, we're making breakfast, we're laughing,
making
watching
music
movies
together.
Yeah.
Like, they both play music. And
yeah. They're at the store, like, being insanely, like, all over each other. And, like, Sarah and Ian are like, okay.
They're, like, annoyed. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
and they're like, why did this happen so insanely, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. But all that's happening. And then it's like, I think then it cuts to them at dinner finally. And she's got, like, a little bee necklace.
I was
already.
like, cute, but
And I'm like, it is
immediately
for
she's like,
her.
anyway.
I know, she's like, anyway. But they're at the thing, and it's funny because the questions she kind of like asks him at that dinner, because it almost looks like a fancy like date night, obviously, but she's like asking him like still like kind of introductory questions, I feel, where she's like, anyway.
Like she doesn't know this man since
Yeah.
they were in like,
She's like,
before high school.
literally, it's like, so anyway, like not like, where are you from, what's all this, but it was just like, so what do you think, like what do you want to do then, well, what do you want to do, like I don't know, the way it was framed, it just felt more like, this doesn't even seem like a philosophical like conversation that you guys are now having. It feels like you just like, this is your like third time having a date basically ever of knowing each other.
Like she doesn't know him. And also like
Yeah.
she did say like, well, you know, you're kind of like a closed, like he's like, well, you told me in the past like I'm a
Yes.
closed book. So it's like, I guess that's how they explained it. Like, oh, he doesn't really say much about himself. But I'm
guess
like,
so.
you would pick it up though. Like you've been his friend for years.
Which that was a cute answer of like, then I get to read it from the start. I was like, oh,
from you know
the
what
NPCs.
the good
I was
thing
like, that was
about
good.
a closed book, I get to read it from the start, and I'm like,
That's-
what a cheesy line. You're like,
And
well,
I'm
that's
like,
cute.
Wait, and I was like,
I literally
as a
was like,
self-prescribed closed book, I'm like, wow, she wants to read.
she wants to read this book, and I'm over here like, what a stupid
You're
ass
like,
line.
first off, this NPC can't write for.
What kind of AI maybe she's AI generated.
Imagine
Is
if
that
it
the
had
theme?
evolved into that. It's like, wait a second.
She's literally like, the reason why she's kind of like her and kind of not is because AI made her.
Literally just spitting out whatever they can from like
Yeah.
getting fragments. Oh my god.
But to
I
be
can't.
honestly, and you know I love romance and cheesy shit. It's not that. It's that line I was like, whatever. I'm like,
Well,
that's not even
normally
cute,
I don't
whatever.
like it when someone's being too cheesy, like
Too
like in real
cheesy,
life.
yeah.
If someone
Yeah,
does
yeah,
like
yeah.
too of like not love bombing in the toxic way, but love bombing
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
immediately
yeah.
saying weird stuff, I'm like, that ain't real. So I don't know why you're saying
You're
that.
like,
but like when it comes to
okay.
like a like, oh, let me comfort you with this like thing that you've always been insecure about or whatever, and it's like, oh, but she's not real, so none of it actually matters because she's literally
So
not
it doesn't
Nikki.
matter.
So
Yeah.
you know what it's doing. But they're talking and he's like feeling like, okay, blah blah blah, and then he gets a call from Ian like twice, and it's funny because the first time he ignores it obviously because they're on their date night, and then he calls again, and you can tell that like not the Nikki is like looks down at it being like, like, why are you answering that? Like she's already like, don't have anyone else in your life when I'm
Immediately,
I haven't
yeah.
like given you the rights for it. But he goes and takes the phone call, and Ian is like being his usual self, where he's just kind of like, anyway, man, you guys are being like weird, whatever. But I looked into it. Or he said he looked into it, right? Like
He said it. He's like, I you know, I don't like to spread stuff around, but like I talked to Sarah and she said that because every time they're like, she's sad because her dad, everyone's like, her dad who she doesn't get along with and doesn't have around. Like, what do you mean? Like, and then Bear's like,
And he's like,
well,
I don't know. They
no,
reconnected, I
Like,
guess.
they
Yeah.
reconnected. And then so again, he's like, so her dad is fine. He's working and alive and well. Like he doesn't have cancer, like she said. So what the hell is this? Like, I don't know. She's using you. Like she's being weird. I don't know why she's doing this. And I believe him, obviously. We believe him. We're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah was like, what the hell? Like, and he's like, and even like, the guy's name was like Tucker or something, some other guy. He's like, people have been talking, like, why is she being this way? Like, people are just thinking like it's out of character. It doesn't make sense. Like, why all of a sudden? And he's like, okay, well, and Bear's freaked out though. Like, even though he's like, well, no, like, I don't know, like I gotta go, but like he kind of tried.
And
to
as
play
he's
it
on the
off.
phone, you see that she
Freaked
like
out.
stood and like it's in a crowded restaurant, mind you, but she's like standing up like behind
I
him,
don't like
listening, and she's like, "What the heck?" But when he comes
It freaks
back,
me out.
I know. And when he comes back though, he's like, hey, like he brings it up pretty quickly. Like he's like, hey, so like, is your dad not dying from cancer? And she's like, no. And like she tells him like, what does she give an excuse for why she lied about it?
So she doesn't say no. I mean, she says no, but we think she's saying like, he thinks like, what? Why are you saying no? And she's like, no. Like, why are you bringing this up? Like, we were supposed to have a good date night. Like, why are you bringing this up?
And she
like,
starts like, freaking out.
She's like, and she starts standing up and she's like, no. Like, why is this happening? Like, and screaming in the restaurant.
And the rest
like,
of people are
"No."
like,
They're like, and he's like, we are. Like, sit down. And then, yeah, she does say like, she says no, but I really don't know why.
it's like basically like she doesn't even get. It's not.
Oh,
a
she
good
says, why does it
excuse.
matter?
Yeah,
Why
like
does it
it's kind
matter?
of just like, I just needed to like, sorry, I'm just saying whatever, and he's just like, okay, doesn't matter to me, and like it literally cuts to them like going at it. And it's like, oh, so he genuinely won. In that moment, like he doesn't, it gets way worse. But in that moment, I'm like, wait, he knows something's weird with her, up with her, and he doesn't, even if it's just her going through something, like even if she's just lying about the cancer, but also just like mentally going through something, he's like, oh, well. And he's just like, all I really want is, you know,
they like you said, they're having sex, and she's literally like this, like her face is just like she's
and just
not
like
there,
making the noises,
she's making the noises.
yeah, and
she's
it's
like,
it
oh
just,
yeah, this is great, and like, and her face is obviously like not there, and I'm like, this man, and it was so disgusting to,
and it's just so obvious that
like,
he's like, anyway, I need, like, I'm just obsessed with you, obsessed, like literally. The whole point is that she's supposed to be obsessed. Yeah, but it's like he's obsessed with her and not in love with her because he's just like, okay, cool, I'm getting what I wanted. And I don't really care if you lied about that because it's not a big deal. And it's like, no, that big deal is that there's something that's wrong with this girl that you're supposedly like in love with, and you don't care. You just want a hole. That's there.
A hole, literally. I'm like, dude, because at first, like you said, we think, oh, maybe he, you know, he likes her, and then it's like he clearly, in that moment, we were like, I think you were like, so he's the villain, and we're like, yeah,
no, yeah. It's like,
I think that's when you said it.
Yeah,
you were like,
we're like
so...
this. Yeah, I was like, so he's the villain of this movie. It's like, yup, because it's like in that moment it
gross.
switched and it just gets worse, and then it just keeps getting worse. We're like,
and it
oh
just
my
gets
god,
worse, and then
and it's so
like,
sad because we were on, like, not on his side, but we were just like, it's from his point of view, and we're just like, so like this guy, like, you know, he's making mistakes or he's fumbling the bag literally, but he's just so, and then we're like, no, we were like pitchforks out as soon as that happened, and we're like,
I was
man,
like, this poor girl being
I know.
like, she's the victim of this movie, and she's like the one who's like going through it, and he again wants it to seem like he's the one, but he's not, and then
they're sleeping that night, and he like, it's after they've had sex, and then he wakes up and he doesn't see that she's in bed.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I keep
we'll go
like,
quick. We'll go quick
genuinely
through
like
it.
I'm actually freaking out every time. Like,
no,
it's
I know.
not a performative freak out, and the reason I'm freaking out because it just really freaks me out. And also because I have like my living room is behind me, and so I have to keep looking back because I'm like freaked out.
Anyway. Luna's back there like, okay.
Luna's like, no, if there was something, I would tell you. She's my little guardian.
I was telling
over there.
Stevie, like, but beforehand, like, I had seen a tweet last night that I had to only look at now because I was like, I couldn't look at it last night because I was trying to go to sleep, and I was like, I can't do this. But it was like a zoomed in image of her, like, from this scene, and I was like, I can't look at this because it's like so correlated with like going to sleep and all this stuff, and I'm like, But it was like, basically he wakes up, she's not there. And it's so well done from a movie standpoint of like the shot is so well done because it's like they just show his other side of his room. And I remember it reminded me of the Babadook because I was kind of like, Luna's like, I heard your
the room, Luna's coming over. She's like, what happened? What happened?
I know. But she, but like I was looking at it and I was like, that looks like the Babadook where it turns from it being a hat and a coat, like on a thing hanging, and it turns into it being the Babadook. And I thought that looks like something hanging over there. And I'm like, is that her over there?
I thought it was the guitar case. Like, and maybe it did do that thing where it's like, oh, it's supposed to look like the guitar case, or it is the guitar case, but then it turns into her or something. Like
I thought at first like, it just looked like a shadow or something, because it didn't look fully formed. Like it looked like something, but it was because it was like everything's like obscured. And I was like, is that her? And they did such a good job of it, like naturally transitioning, because it was just like he kept staring, and then finally she kind of like moves a little bit out of the shadow, and I'm like, what? And he's like, Nikki, and she's like, like she's like, just go back to sleep. And it's like, no,
she's so creepy. And then she moves. Like,
oh my god,
not
like
real.
A T-Rex. Like
she,
I told Stevie,
she
it's
does
like
little T-Rex.
Oh
arms.
yeah, I told Stevie that whenever I would do that with my dogs, I was like, don't rattle at the dogs. Like I would do the little diddy
instead of
like,
the Grinch.
Yeah, I'd be like, and like she's doing that, and I'm like, why is she doing that? Like what an odd like. And like, and he's just like, what are you doing? And she's like, just go back to sleep. And it basically oscillates between her being like that, then to her like scream crying and being like, you don't love me the way I love you. And he's like,
well, because after she does the T-Rex thing, she goes to the center of the room doing that, and then when he says something, the way she moves back to the corner is like,
oh my god,
it's like literally so quick and creepy and glitchy.
It looks like
and
a rewind.
She's like a
it looks
rewind,
like she's
and I'm
being
like
manipulated by like a puppet or something.
It
was so
creepy.
freaky. He's like, what are you doing? And so then she starts freaking out in the corner, like wailing, and like her face looks like it's contorted. Like she literally looks like, ooh, and he's
Again,
like,
half in the dark,
what?
but we can see enough.
Yeah. And he's
And
like,
also,
no,
it's
I do.
uncanny valley is the problem with this
Yeah.
whole thing.
Well, that's why the tweets were saying, like, did they do something to her face? Like, how is she, like, is she able to make her face look like that? Did they also manipulate it? Because it was, like, weird. Like, it didn't, even when she would smile really big, it didn't look like her. I was kind of like,
know.
how
I'm
does
like,
this girl do this? It's crazy. But he, like,
she's talented and also
yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah. And he tells her, like, come back to bed. Like, it's okay. Like, it, please. And he's just trying to comfort her, basically. And then he wakes up the next morning and she's not, I don't think she's there again, but he notices his hair is cut. Isn't that next morning? I think.
Yeah.
I think.
His hair is cut. And I was like, LOL. And both of us were like, okay, what is this like witchcraft stuff with like the hair, right?
And it's just funny because he's like, did you cut my hair? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, don't do that. She's like, okay.
She's like, oh. Like every time
we do to somebody, like we'd be like, no, like, okay, but don't do that next time. Okay.
Let's not do that. And she's
yeah, so
like,
we don't
oh,
do that.
Okay.
And it's funny because she gives him a lunch bag. Like she's like, I made your lunch. Like I'm excited to see you when
he
you
also
get back.
addresses how weird that. He's like, hey,
yeah,
so
that's true.
what was that? And she's like, no, whatever. Luna, she's ow, wow, your claw went into my leg.
You're frozen, so it looked funny. It looked like you were just going like, you're like,
your
no.
claw went straight into my leg. Thanks a lot, Luna. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he just addresses it and he's like, so what was that? And she's like, no, like I had a nightmare, like I'm sorry, like I can be happy. And it's like her always kind of being like, let me be what you want me to be.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's be normal, like we can be normal, you can be normal. And she's like, okay, like yeah. And it's like, again, the whole thing of him, instead of being like, hey, let me figure out why she's doing this and how I can help her, instead he wants to mask it and for her to just be perfect Nikki.
The goal is like, can you just be Nikki, basically, but not be the real Nikki? Can you just be her, even if you're not her? Like, it's almost like he's just like, I don't care, just be normal. And she won't ever achieve that, obviously. And he's just like, that's my main goal here. I just need you to be like her because it's stressing me and everyone else out. And it's like, well, yeah, but you clearly don't. Anyway, it's a really good shot though too, because he has that like sobering moment with her where he's gonna like, okay, but please, like that was weird. He takes the lunch, he turns around and we don't see what he sees, but he like is so like, oh yeah,
he's like, oh,
and I'm like,
my fucking God.
I don't know what I was expecting. We only had like a few seconds before we see what he sees, but I was like, what does he see? Like, did she like,
right?
Like, I don't know what it like, bring something in. Did she like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting like something dead yet again, like because the cat's already whatever, but. She like duct taped the entire door, like not just like around the door, the whole door, and
completely,
completely. And he's
silver
like,
with the
and I like,
tape.
I appreciate that he doesn't like even like turn around to be like, what is this? He literally is like, I'm just gonna get out of here. Like, let me open it. She's like, oh, you should just stay then if you don't. And he's like, no, I got it. Like, he's like, let me get it, because like, I'm just glad he didn't do the whole thing of just like, what is this? Like, I need to get out of here. Like, he's literally like, I'm getting out of this house right now, and I'll address this later.
It's funny, yeah, because when he turns around behind him before he sees it, she's like, oh, I'm gonna miss you so much. After she said she's gonna be normal, she's like, I'm gonna miss you so much when you're gone. At first I thought he was like reacting to that, and then it's literally he's
Me
like,
too,
oh
yeah,
my God,
that's
and
true. I was like, is he reacting to what she said? And then he like, and then I thought maybe she did something that was like, you can't go. I don't know, or like gonna make it obvious that, which you'd think that would be her saying, so you're not leaving, because I'm like, it's surprising that she's letting him go to work. Like, it's just like, so I don't know.
She's like, okay, well, if you can't open the door, you can always stay. And he's like,
no, I got it, don't worry, literally clawing at it to get out. And he's like, he gets like, it open. So
he
funny.
rips it open, and then he's at work talking to Sarah.
Oh well, it's funny too. No, but right when he closes the door, we see her like waving, and she has this insane smile on her face, and she just stays like that, and then you hear her peeing herself, and it's so upsetting. I hate in like non-supernatural movies when that happens. Like anytime anyone like soils themselves, like it just makes me so upset, because there's just something so like vulnerable about it. And the fact that this is like the real Nikki being like, please, like anything to like get you out of here. And but she's frozen in place, just smile, like holding her hand up, waving. And it's like, oh my God, it's literally so freaky.
I was like, she's peeing because like she can't go to the bathroom. She can't do anything. Like literally she's like, when I have to pee because my body has to pee. But like,
I know I couldn't tell
I'm
if it was
not
the
gonna
fact
like.
that she was doing it because she couldn't keep it in anymore. If it was like her one rebellion, also being like, okay, do I
Yeah.
have control over that factor of my body? Like, can I do that? Because like I'm like, you'd think that the body, like the person in her, would be able to be like, okay, I'm suffering. Like this body cannot live if I do not obviously take care of it. Like I have
But
to
I
do
think
stuff.
yeah, and I think it's because like if he's not there, it's like Ken
Maybe that too.
exists for Barbie. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Right,
if he's
yeah.
not, because she couldn't move until she was being witnessed by him. So
Which
that's
is
what I
odd
thought.
though.
Like,
Yeah, because
unless
you
he's in
think
the
like
room, unless he's in the house, I guess.
yeah,
Because
which you would think though that she'd know to not like yeah, because then you're right because it's like if Nikki is peeing and like pooping and doing
vomiting
everything
and
awful
stuff.
and like vomiting like just so sad, like you'd think that if the entity cared about how that looked, she'd be like, oh,
Clean
let
it
me
up or
clean this up
something.
and like okay,
Yeah.
don't do that again. Even though we don't see any like communication between the entity and Nikki, like even though Nikki's
No.
clearly suffering, there's never a moment of like the fake Nikki being like shut up or like you know what I mean, like there's no torture
Yeah.
scene or no moment of it being like you'll behave or I'll do this, like there it's never like she's almost like I'm not concerned about you, like you're quieted, don't worry. Like I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah,
but
like, because like,
freakiest scene.
the only time like regular Nikki comes out is if it like there's a slip or, you know, when they're unconscious or whatever. But I'm like, so yeah, she's just there. And it's so creepy, like you said, her face, like her little smile, she's like, but when she smiles, her eyes like and her cheeks
It's
are
so
so
she
like,
makes herself look
she's
so
like,
different. Like it's so like oh my gosh,
I'm
it's,
like,
freaky. But that's happening.
bleh.
He and like you were saying though, he goes to work and he's talking to Sarah. Like they're doing
yeah,
something.
he's talking to
with,
Sarah and she's
yeah.
like, man, like she's waiting on her last letter for college because all of them are rejecting her, and he's like,
or
being
like
really
just like art school.
nice.
I don't know what age they're supposed to be, but at least she's trying to get into art school. At least I don't know if it's like traditional like undergrad.
I assume it's
Because I thought they were older. They all live alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, she might live with her dad. I don't know.
Maybe, but I for some reason thought they were like mid-20s.
Oh yeah,
or
you're right,
something.
because like Ian has a whole like house or whatever. Maybe
yeah,
she's
like
trying
I
to
thought
get into
maybe
a
they're like
program.
mid-20s,
Yeah.
and she's like, let me change. Like I don't want to work at the family like store anymore. I want to like go to art school and stuff. So, but she's waiting. You're right, and that's why you were like, is this guy's like such a father to them? She's like, thanks, Dad. We're like,
Because he's being so supportive the whole time. And we're like, man, he loves these kids, like, you know. And it's Andy Richter plays him.
I forgot.
And I'm like, Andy Richter, and he's like. And we had just seen this last Dancing with the Stars. We were watching him on there. And Sarah has never really watched Dancing with the Stars. So when we were watching it, she's like, well, we sent him some votes. But we were like, he had the heart. But every time he kept getting through and people were like, some people were like, no.
Get this guy
No.
out of here.
I mean, he was improving. He had the spirit. But
he got the spirit. And
he had the spirit.
He's a little confused. It's okay.
Yeah, he was so like, he's like, you know, I knew I
Very
got
lovable.
it pretty far. Like, I know, you know, maybe whatever. He was being nice. But we were like, hey.
So funny.
And obviously we've seen Andy Richter and other things. But anyway, that was like the most recent thing that we were like, LOL. But anyway, the whole time I was like, wow, he really cares about these kids. And then she's like, yeah, she's like, thanks, Dad. And we're like, oh.
Right, there we go then, I guess. Oh my god.
Because she doesn't look like him at all. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I didn't like.
Yeah,
think
I wouldn't have put two and two together if like they had
No.
not. I would have not thought she would be his daughter. But
yeah,
you know, but it's so cute because she's just like coming back and she's like, well, I got rejected from this one, but I had, and he's like, and Bear's like, do you have? Is that it? And she's like, no, I have one more. Like Stevie was saying, he's like, I got one more
Luther
waiting
or
for.
something.
Yeah, and they're like having this like you can tell that they're close to like again this is why it's so upsetting because you can tell that she really likes Bear like just as a person too, and then she's just like wanting to talk to him. And I can't remember if like they're just like kind of saying some stuff.
He's
but
being
then,
supportive.
Yeah, trying to make her feel better.
He tries to like he opens the lunch.
Yes.
Oh, she was gonna tell him something actually before she went to get the last letter. She's like, I just think it's it's just weird because he's like, well, I heard what you said.
Yes,
like, I heard
and she's
what
like
you said
to
like,
Ian.
Yeah, to Ian, and she's like, well,
because what was it
Ian's
that she had said? Was she like saying like, oh, that Nikki's? Like, what is it that she had said that
it's
like
basically
Nikki
like Nikki's trying to take advantage of the dad
but
thing.
also Stevie, I forgot. I think I read this too. That I forgot that she had told Ian that Nikki had expressed that she didn't see Bear that way.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Like that she's like, oh yeah, because when at the restaurant we forgot to mention that Ian also said like she had just said that she doesn't see you
She
like
sees
that. So
you as a
why
little
is she
brother.
into you all of a sudden?
Yeah. And he's like,
And we
which
forgot to
sucks,
mention
man. But like, it's true. Like, it sucks to hear that. But like, why is she all of a sudden into you then? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's not true then. He's like, well, I don't care. Anyway,
Which is what
but,
made it
he was
worse, where
freaked
he
out,
was like, why, if she doesn't see you this way, she just said it the day before, basically, or a couple days before, why all of a sudden, like, she's doing this to, like, be malicious towards you? I don't like it. And her dad is not dying, like, whatever.
Which it's also, you and I were talking too, where we're like, it is weird that it's fine that we don't, but it's interesting we don't see like the dynamic between her and Sarah change or have like a moment of her confronting her, because it's almost like, because of all these recent conversations, you would imagine that Sarah had said like, hey, like I kind of have a crush on Bear, like, do you like him? And you can almost see that Nikki would have said, oh my gosh, no, like that's like my little brother. Like you would have seen, like they probably had that kind of convo, and so then all of a sudden for them to be like
That's
in
how
each
they,
other,
described
and it's
it.
just,
And then she's like,
but it's just interesting to think like that Sarah didn't have a moment of like talking to Nikki being like, hey girl,
what the
thanks
fuck,
for
dude?
not being a girl's girl, whatever. Yeah.
I thought you were
which
my
it's
best
like,
friend.
yeah, which I guess it's implied, but we just don't, which is fine. We don't see it because it's all from Bear's point of view. And obviously there is like a tension at the store where they're just like, what's going on? What's going on?
And also Nikki's not spent a moment away from Bear, basically.
That's true.
That's all.
True.
Like, this is the first time because she's finally stopped working there. Like,
yeah,
before that,
true.
they've been together the whole time. So, like,
yeah,
that's when he's like, well, I heard what you said about it. And she's like, well, yeah, like, I just think it's interesting that I just had this conversation with her. Like, why is she randomly, you guys are all over each other. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, I don't know. Like, she's into me, basically. And he's like, she's like, well, if Ian's going to spread my stuff around, then, you know, I think that I should tell you. And that's when she gets interrupted by the letter.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when she comes back, I'm like, what the heck? Again, we're like, clearly it has to do with the fact what it is. We know. We already know. Like, we already know it has to do. I'm like, Ian.
We already know.
We already know. And I think I leaned over to you at that part and I was like, Ian and Nikki are hooking up. Like, this is what's happening. Like, we've
cracked the code. You're like, I know exactly what it is. It's the fact that they've been together.
We know.
Yeah. Like there's
come on.
there's something going on there, and it's like, it's that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We're
because
like,
in my
Sarah had
head
to
I was
know.
like, I literally was like, it seemed even like, I'm like, it seems like a hookup thing. Like, the way they were talking about it, because like otherwise they would have just been dating outright. You know what I mean? Like, I was
right.
like,
There's no reason to like hide it unless it's just a complicated. Like, it's fine. We're just doing it on the side. No one needs to know about it.
We're just sleeping together.
Which it's always so funny when you find that. I feel like that happened in high school all the time, where I'd be like, what? Like, not about like my close friends, but like just friends at high school, and they're like, oh yeah, they've been. I'm like, what? Wait,
I know.
What? I
like,
feel like
this
people talk about
thing?
work. I feel like people talk about like coworkers that way, which is not my experience with coworkers, but like about them talking like that. Maybe they just didn't tell me. But like, I feel like people were like, it's so normal, and I'm like, it is. But I feel like that's how it was in high school.
People be hooking up.
Apparently. I know, without saying a word and
without
making it
nothing.
no strings attached, no emotions. And I'm like, you guys do you do you.
You're like,
I'm on the other end of the spectrum, but go ahead. Like, that's fine.
Sarah's like, I mean, okay.
We're like, okay, this is not a safe space for demisexuals. Anyway, but
you're like demisexual head exploding. What is happening? Like, and I get it. I wish I could. Like, not that I wish that I could.
No, like I get it from.
But it's like I get it. Like,
I do get it, and I also am like, it's not like a repulse thing where I'm like, what? It's more just like, wow, they're just out there. They're just out there without saying a thing to anybody. And I'm like, go off, do your thing.
I know.
But that's what they were doing. Yeah.
I literally am like also like that, where I'm just like, I need to have an emotional connection to you.
Right.
To get to that
it's like
point.
Someone's gotta know. Like something's gotta.
I'm like, that's cool that you can do
have
that.
Fun.
My body's not built that way.
And it's also lovely when the two people are on the same page. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, you love to see it. I mean, you love to see it. We support. We support.
We support. Right? Ally. No.
Ally. We're like hypersexual ally, or just normal sexual. I mean, normal, quote unquote, non-demisexual. But
it was just so obvious that that's their vibe, that we were like, all right, that's what's happening. Sarah was going to tell him, but she doesn't, because if Bear doesn't hear it, it doesn't smack him across the face. He's just like, anyway.
He just ignores it.
Yeah, he knows it, but he just, he probably knows so much stuff in his bones, like you were saying, but he just doesn't address it. But he's opening his little, you were saying, he was opening his lunch. I forgot how freaked out.
He's opening his lunch, and he has like, the other thing on top of the lunch before that, we see photos, and it says,
yes,
like,
that's what I was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says like me, and then it's like a picture of like Nikki. It's like Polaroids, and it says, and each one is like a message.
And at first it shows like a security footage, like a surveillance footage of Bear. Remember? It's like him walking in the store and she circled it. And it says meet. And it says you. I can't remember how she did it because it's like,
it says you.
First, you.
And then it has a picture of them and it says not. And then it said me. It was like you, not me. So it's like.
So there was one of him circled that was like you, and then the next one is him sleeping and her taking a photo next to him while he's asleep, which would be cute if it was not that way. And it was like her looking at the camera, but she like points to her and she's like, not me. So it's almost like it could be played off as like a silly like, you, not me. I don't know. But instead we're like, oh my God, that must be the real Nikki that was able to write it in that moment, being like, not me. Yeah, because
she's like, this is you doing this, not me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not this.
And
like,
that's
you made me do this.
Yeah. But also like, that's literally, that's a different girl.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And he's just like looking at it. And then that's when Sarah comes back, I think, too. And she's like, what's that? And he's like, oh, nothing. And it's like, you know.
And the note said like, oh, because they had this whole joke at the restaurant.
Oh, yes.
Like, he's like, I want to be a food critic, and then whatever. And then so on the note, she writes like, oh, you know, for you, little food critic. Mm-hmm. And then Sarah takes it and she's like, what is this? Like making fun of it. And then she's like, how's Kat? Like, and he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, it says like, and I was like, before they even read the note, I was I already know where this is going. Okay. I already know what the fuck she put in this sandwich. Okay. And then he's like, she's like, what? How's Kat? Like, what does this mean? How's Kat? And he's like, mind you, he had already eaten part of the sandwich. Okay?
Yeah.
How does he not? So she makes a sandwich with dead cat meat.
Which is dead cat. Wild because it looks like it's almost like
it's so gross.
It looks like it's like a, not to be gross, but it looks like a fish. Like it doesn't look like meat. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, wouldn't this have looked so? Yeah,
in the shape of a trout.
It looked like in the shape of a trout. It looks like cat food as opposed to it being cat. So I was like, wouldn't this have been more like gamey and like he would have literally
like, you are what you eat.
It's like that's just how it. I'm like, oh, but it was so he literally like doesn't just freak out. Gray. He vomits. Yeah, he literally. Yeah. Oh my God. And he obviously takes the nearest trout because he won't respond. And Sarah's like, what's up? What is going on? And then immediately he's just barfing his guts out.
Also, they're like yelling, her dad and her like, Bear, what the hell, Bear? And then what does that mean? What does cat mean? What does cat mean? Whatever. And he's like, and then you hear him. I don't know if you heard it, but as he's vomiting and it cuts to like another scene, you hear him go, inside joke. I'm like, you're really like... You're really still
it's so
trying
funny.
to make this normal, dude.
In that moment, I feel like I would have even said, she put cat food in my, like, this is literal disgusting. Like, just something to be like, this is still insane, and I need you to believe me that it's insane, not just that it's
because
like,
he wants her to seem normal to them, though. Mm-hmm. Like,
he covers up everything.
And they're all like, dude, she's going through something. I feel like she's taking advantage of you by like using you.
Like both goes both ways. Like they're like you're taking advantage of her, but she's also leaning on you, and you need to step away because she's going through it, and you're like she's like using you, and it's just like all this stuff where it's like they're literally like outside of the supernatural. This is messed up. Like you need to because they don't know that's what it is. So they're like you need to leave it, but he won't. Of course,
she's having a mental break. So then Ian.
The thing that comes
Ian
next, I think,
drives. I mean, not Ian. Bear drives Ian home.
Oh,
remember?
Does he?
He drives him home.
Okay, wait. Go ahead. Yeah, I can't remember.
He drives him home, and he's like, "Wait." He's like, "Oh, can you drive me home?" He's like, "Why don't you drive yourself?" And it's like the pan over to no car there. And he's like, "Oh, I had car troubles," and he's like, "Okay."
Oh, check engine light. Yeah.
Yeah, check engine light. So
you and me are like, anyway, we're gonna go. Still on the
I'm like, right. Anyway,
right.
My light's being on right now.
Knock on wood. Yeah, we did. We're like, right.
Anyways, knock on wood. So he's like, come on, we're neighbors. Like, drive me home. Which I'm like, damn, how close do they live to each other?
Right.
So then he drives him home, and in the car, it's just silent. And Ian's like, so how is everything with Nikki? And he's like, yeah, it's good. And he's like, you come to me and you tell me that she's freaking, like he literally is like telling him you tell me that she's freaking out on Molly. Then all of a sudden, like, and I just love how he said it because I was laughing. I'm like, he come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Literally.
You say all of this and now all of a sudden, like, you guys are fine. But Nikki's also like acting this way. I just think that she's, saying all this stuff that we just said. And he's like, and he also found out Bear found out that Ian was having a party and they weren't invited.
Oh,
Like
that's
everyone
right,
was
that's
invited but him.
Doesn't he? Is it here that he confronts Ian about? Does he know yet? He doesn't know yet about Ian
He
and her
knows.
being. Does he know?
Oh,
Okay.
no, he doesn't know yet. No.
I'm trying to remember.
No. He doesn't know about that yet. But he was like, well, hey, how come I heard you're having a party? Why weren't we invited? And he's like, oh, so where are we now? And he's like, well, he's like, just spend one night. He's like, no, it's a boys' night. You can come.
And he's like, but Sarah's coming. He's like, well, that's because she's not.
He's like, well, I'm telling her not to come then. And then it shouldn't be a problem. Because if you're in a healthy relationship, like, you come. And he's like, fine. Like, I'll come along. He drops him off and then he gets home. And he's practicing in the car, like, again. He's practicing in the car, trying to keep her into this, like, box of being Mickey. He's like...
I can't tell, too. It's weird, though, because I can't tell if this... Tell me when this comes up. You can cut this if it's not right now. But, like, when he calls the customer support, is it here? Because it says on the thing that it's here, but it might be later. I can't remember when he does it. I don't remember when he calls them. Because obviously nothing comes of it, but it's just, like, that quick... Is it when he's in the car before he goes in?
He's in the car, and it's before he goes in, but, like, then I remember him driving into the driveway. So it's weird that it showed him driving into a driveway, but then it shows him, in the driveway after he's like, so he's like, hey, he's like, you can't cook cat, whatever. And then he's like, he calls the number on the thing because he's like, I think that's when he remembers. He's
because he's like, wait a minute, let me figure out like what's happening here. Because he's like, I want to, because it's like, oh, if you have questions, if you have anything, call this number for customer support. Which is already really funny because obviously I think the lady at the store had said, or someone had said like, or no, he looked it up online and they were like, yeah, like it's a joke. Even the phone number is a joke. Like all of this, because like
he was on like a quote unquote Reddit,
and you would obviously think that too. Yeah, some people were like,
real.
It's real. What was it? My mother's been ugly her whole life, and now she's gorgeous.
Some people were like, if you break the stick, you're an idiot. But it's like, I feel like the people who said it was fake were people who kept it in the box. Because the guy's like, if you break the stick and you think it's real, like, you're an idiot. It's just a novelty. And then the people who said it was real was like, this messed up my whole life.
They actually did
like,
it. It's so funny. It's like such a typical Reddit thread, like a literally contradictory between one or the other. Like it would be like, don't do this, do this. Like it's all of
the mom one was ridiculous. I was like,
so
my mom's been ugly her whole life. Now she's gorgeous.
Like,
and I'm like,
so
what?
Funny. Oh my God. But but it's funny because like, yeah, you would think that obviously a thing like that, having an actual number on there is a spoof number of just like, call us if you're wished. It's like, yeah, but he calls it. And almost the voices...
Like is it the Sabrina Carpenter one where it's like you call it and it's like, hey, like it has like a thing on it. You know, like one of those where it has like a voicemail thing. You know?
Yeah. Well, they used to do that all the time. It was almost like the fake websites, but like the fake numbers that would do. I love that.
Those are fun.
But he calls it, and the voice on the other line, I wouldn't know who this guy is. Like, I wonder who did the voice. It's probably
I know. Is it
like,
the director or something?
I know. I wonder because the way I didn't see that, but like it'd be so funny if it was because of the way it's just like, hello.
No, he calls and the guy's like, hello.
Yeah,
and he's like,
hello.
Hi. And the guy's like, hey. And I'm
it
like, I just always like he knows him.
Yeah, like your friend, and then it's just like, what's up?
Would you need something? Me out because he's just like a bodiless voice, and the thought
it does
of
it
him,
so
like,
well though. It's not even like a creepy voice. It's literally just like
out, but it's not.
Like it has the effect of creeping you out, but it's not him being like weird. It literally sounds like you call your brother or something, and he's like, no.
He has no.
I mean,
he's so monotone, so
really
tired.
Do that, but and it's like, what are you tending to? Like hell? Like what is happening? Like why are you literally? It's so wild because he's basically like, can I? He's like, can I? Change my wish or something? No, wait, is that what he says first? And he's like, no.
Like,
or something.
He's like, you want to alter your? No, you want to cancel your wish, and he's like,
yeah. He's
no,
like,
no, I just want to alter it, and he's like. Well, we don't really do that, man.
He's like, then why did you make it sound like that? Again, man, at the end of the day, having a boyfriend's not going to work. Like, it's literally how this energy sounds.
No, before that, he's like, oh, you want to alter it then? And he's like, yeah, like, well, all this stuff. And then he's like, okay, yeah, so he's like, so you want to put in a request to alter it? And he's like, yeah. And they keep talking, whatever. And then that's when he's like, well, we don't really do that. And he's like, what?
So then
what
why
the hell?
did you tell me? Lead me
you went through all of this.
No. It's so funny because it's literally the, like, oh, so your name is, no. Like, what is it? The, oh my gosh, from How I Met Your Mother. I always quote it now.
Oh, yeah. It was like, not Barry.
It's like a name, like a funny name.
Oh, I thought you said John. Oh, so your name's John? No.
Right?
What?
Yeah, it was. Oh my
Why
god!
did you
that? Hold on. What is the name?
Yeah, it was something like. Oh, I
But
thought
it was
you
like
said.
something weird. Like it was like.
Yeah. Oh, I
It was
thought it was
like. Oh, I thought you said. Hold on. Wait. Now it's gonna bug me,
Yeah,
Stevie.
yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on. I thought it was something like. It was that bald guy from. What do you call it? From Phil of the Future.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. When you said
You
that
remember
bald guy, I'm like, you mean the principal?
You
from-
mean the yeah.
Who also
It was-
played Cusco in.
Oh my
Emperor's New
god, he
School.
did. Yes, he did. Okay, wait. I'm gonna look up How I Met Your Mother, Neil Hackett.
But then he also reminds me of the prince or the vice principal or whatever in Community. I'm like, are they not? They're so
Oh
similar to
wait,
me.
wait. Who is?
But it's a
wait,
different
hold on.
actor.
Okay, J.P. Mano. This is literally not necessary, but it is. Okay.
Tangent.
How I Met Your Mother.
Tangential.
Hold on. Not Moby. That's what it was. Moby. So they were like, I thought you said Tony. Oh, so your name's Tony? No. And they're like, so your name's not Moby then. You're not Moby.
Because they thought it was Moby.
And we never know what Moby actually looks like, I don't think. Like he's some famous
Moby,
person.
the singer.
Oops, I don't know who Moby. Then
Or
I don't know who Moby
He's
is.
like a composer. You'd know him. He looks like him. Oh,
Well,
sorry,
there
I
you
knocked
go
over
then.
my thing.
Me, I'm like, the bit is that we never see. You're
Oh.
like, that's a real person.
We're like, no,
Oh,
Moby. There's also
my
like
bad.
there's a.
I don't
episode
know,
of
man. I
Bob's
watched
Burgers
this
with
in early
Moby
high
it.
school. Let me see. Hold on.
He's a musician. You know him. When you look at him,
Ma-
you're gonna be like, oh, it makes sense why they thought that was Moby.
Oh, there's literally a photo of them like next to each other. Yeah. But also,
Oh,
what does
I
he
thought
do?
you said Tony. So your
So your
name's
name's
Tony?
Tony?
No.
No. But wait a minute. Why is Moby famous? What is Moby
He's a
known
singer.
for?
He's like a
Like
musician.
name one. No, okay, name one song. What is?
I
he
know. I
sing?
think you would know one of the songs. I can't think of one, but we would know it.
Oh
And
my
I
god! Wait
feel
a
like-
minute. He looks like an actor. Why
That
does he
one.
look
No,
like...
I'm just kidding. He looks like
Right.
that guy.
I know this is too much. Hold on. I'm so sorry, Moby. Well, I don't know your music, but you know what?
We
You're
never
known,
know.
though.
Oh.
That's crazy. We know. I think that's actually even funnier because to me, I've thought this whole time. You probably did tell me this at one point, and I totally forgot.
What that it's
But
him.
like it, because in my head, I remember it being like a funny bit of just like, well, the bit is that you don't actually. I don't think you do see the real Moby, like the act, like Moby himself
later
doesn't come
on,
out. I
yeah.
don't think so. Maybe he does at some point. They're known for their gags. One thing my
Just
mother
like-
was known for the gags. Before
They're known for the gags.
the horrible, well, to me, in my opinion, horrible ending. But whatever. I think
And I
everyone's
agree.
And you agree. Shake hands.
And that's not a crazy
Anyway.
thing to say.
And that's not a
Um,
ridiculous thing to say. Mhm. Right. Anyway, sorry. So,
So anyway, he's like, why the hell did you make it seem like I could cancel it then? And
That's
he's like,
it, yeah.
dude, he's like, listen. And he goes, well, is it real? And he's like, the wish? Yeah. And no, does it work? Like, is it real? He thinks, the guy on the phone thinks he means like, yeah, it works. It's real. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
is her love for me real? And he's like, well, just because you like made it for her.
just because you created it doesn't make it less
created
real.
doesn't mean
And
it's
like,
less real, or chose it for her doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's less real. And then he's like it's so creepy and sad. He's like, do you want to talk to her? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, do you want to talk to Nikki? And you just hear her screaming in the background.
it's so upsetting.
And mind you, obviously we know this is like a weird supernatural thing the whole time, but like never once did he say, I'm Bear, I'm talking about Nikki, I'm blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah.
the guy obviously already knows, like, you want to talk to Nikki? And we hear her
Yeah.
screaming in the back. And it's just her, like, just a consistent scream because
So
she's trapped.
upsetting.
She's literally trapped in there. And it's so
sad.
upsetting and sad.
I hate it.
And then, yeah, so then he goes inside. We needed the laugh about Moby. You know, we needed the
Honestly,
laugh
we
for a
needed that to
second.
prepare us for what is coming. Truly.
So I almost forgot. So he goes inside, and obviously we were prepared for this because
yeah.
the way they set it up, she's still standing in the same spot, and he's like, oh my god, she just has like vomit on her, and like it looked like she had
pooped,
eaten
she
cat food or
peed.
something.
Yeah,
because
She
it was like
threw
cat
up.
food.
I'm
on
assuming
the
she
floor.
pooped too because it looked like a mix of, I don't know, maybe it was just throw up. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it just looked like everything ever. And like every time she walked, there was a squishing sound. Like it wasn't like she was like, I'll clean this up. Like as she walks, and I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, don't worry, I'm so sorry. The way the throw up
She was
looked
so
on her
happy to
chin,
see
though,
him, too.
I know. It did look like throw up. It actually was so realistic because sometimes when I do when you do see someone's throw up, sometimes it'll look like, this is so, I'm sorry if you're eating, not you, but everyone else. Like, it's like, you know, when you see a certain type of it can look like almost like flesh colored.
Like it
so
dries, like
yeah,
pink.
and it looked so like she had like
Burns,
welts on her almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
something,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. And it looked like that. And I was like, did she like mutilate herself? Like, what's happening? But then it was like, oh, it's such realistic throw up. Like, it looked so, she's like, oh, go in there and just fix it. It was
She's
just
like, it's
so,
fine. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up. And she's in the bathroom in the shower, and he's like, did you cook you can't cook the cat. Like, I'm really upset about this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like in the shower. She's like, shh, whatever. And again, you're like,
God.
Still after
his
he
main
just
concern is to
learned
scold her, not
that
to be like,
she's trapped in there.
it's like
he's still trying to make her be Nikki. Because you're the fucking villain, dude. Like, you'd think, first of all, many times before this, you'd think, hey, you know in your head, even though you're ignoring it, what's going on, and you know it's wrong that you're being with her even though she doesn't want to. You're questioning if the love is real. You know that you're taking advantage of this girl's poor body. And then when you find out that she's screaming in there, you literally are like,
right.
Hey.
No, the fact that all of it is like, you know what? Maybe she's just asleep in there and wouldn't even, you know, like,
No.
that's horrible too. That's horrible too. But
yeah.
the fact that he has no ounce of just like, oh my God, Nikki, I have to save you. Like, his Prince Charming knight in shining armor doesn't come out. Like, he's not like someone who's like, you know what? It'd still be demented if he wanted to just get her to like him that way. But it's like, you'd think that he'd have some form of like, I need to save her. Like, we can be together and this cannot, like, it's just like, he's so disgusting. And we were just like, oh, you are truly our enemy. Like, we don't like you at all.
Doesn't love her, doesn't care about her at all, doesn't even like her, because it doesn't even matter who, even if I didn't know somebody and that was going on, I'm like, yeah. Your instinct is to be like,
my new mission is to try and help this person. Because it's like,
try to help this person.
Yeah. Instead, he literally just wants her for her body. And like for her to compliment him
love,
and be, and for her to compliment him and be his like little lovey-dovey girlfriend that he can like, and it's like, that's so, but he tells her while she's in the shower, like, he's like, so Ian's having a party. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, it's like kind of a boys' night thing. And like each time something new is told to her, like, you hear something in the shower, like she does like the, like, I don't know, doesn't she make like a clenching noise?
Because at first she's like, oh, I'll get ready, I'll go with you. And he's like, no, it's a boys' night. Like, I'm going to go by myself. And it was like, and it's so like the echoes of the bathroom. And she's like, okay. And he's like, and she starts freaking out in there, screaming. And throughout the movie, like, she starts like screaming intensely. She does this random times, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's so scary, and like, she's so good at it. And so she's like, no, it's fine, like, whatever. And he's like, it's okay, like, you can come with me. And she's like screaming and whatever. And she's like, ah. And then it like cuts to them there together. And then it's Ian. Like, they're at, dude, I can't believe you brought
he's like,
her.
I knew. And it's like, and I think because she even brings up too, like, well, Sarah's gonna be there, or Sarah told me she'll be there. And it's like, at the party, obviously she's there, and other girls are there too. So like, obviously the whole point was that Ian was trying to just be like, don't bring her, like, you can control that, like, don't. But of course she's there. So they're there and they're playing Jenga, but it's like well, they're calling it drunk Jenga. I thought they had a different name for some reason, but I guess it is drunk Jenga. But it's like the kind that has the little like a dare on it, basically.
Questions, whatever. I think it would just
be like truth or dare Jenga. Anyway, but they're playing that with like a bunch of their friends and stuff, and it's Bear is on the other. Like, they made a joke about it, and I don't remember what they said. Like, where she doesn't sit next to him. Don't they say something? Mm-hmm. What was it?
They had her like move. Oh no, she went first. She was sitting next to him, and then she got Sarah got something that was like switch places with whatever. So they had to swap. I think.
Oh, okay. Right? I didn't realize.
Didn't they have to switch? Oh no, Bear had to move. Bear went.
Maybe that's what
first,
it was.
And then he had to swap places with, the guy or whatever. Or the guy was like, "Oh, let me sit next to." For whatever reason, Bear had to swatch places with somebody else.
I feel like they made a joke, though, where it was like, as if you don't blah, blah, blah. And she goes, ha, 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 ha. And she, like, laughs insanely. Yeah. And I can't remember what it was they said, though.
Yeah.
But they say something where they're all like, you already have enough to, like some kind of thing of, like, you don't, as if you need a moment away from him or something like that. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. And they're like, okay.
She's acting not like herself and weird. Yeah. And they all know it.
They all know it. But he's now sitting next to Sarah, right? Okay, so then she pulls one that's like, what do you call it? Like, I don't remember what it said. It was like,
she didn't read it.
But she reads a retelling. Oh wait, it says here. I'm gonna say how this describes it.
Yeah.
Nikki recites a violent, incestuous, that is true, retelling of Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it took us a minute because we're like, what is she saying? And we're like, oh, Hansel.
What
Gretel. Like it was literally.
Yeah. I was like,
we're like
I
Hansel.
literally thought, no, it's Hansel.
Gretel? What are you doing to Gretel? Like, what are you doing?
I was like, what? Oh, it's Hansel and Gretel. And then I was like, wait, this is incest. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was creepy. And then she's like, keeps reading it. And we're like, what the hell? And then she's like, anyway, something from the new book I'm writing. And everyone's like,
and we're like,
what the fuck was that? Like,
it was super freaky. And I don't even know what the Jenga said. Like, it was some kind of make up a, it didn't say that. I thought at first maybe it said like make up a poem or something like on the spot or something.
Yeah, like at first I thought she was reading something that she found online, but it must have said something like, maybe it was like, read something vulnerable. I don't know, whatever.
Which begs the question, what is that entity doing? Like, why does it know that violent, weird story? Like, is it botching together?
Yeah, I don't think that it, obviously, it's not what she really wrote. Like, it's not her real book.
My thing is, I can't tell, like, does she have access to her memory? She does, right?
Yeah, I think
or does she not? Because if not, like, she would get things like more correct.
I think it's what we were saying, where it's like, it has access to her, but it like takes it in a weird way where that's why I'm like, is she like an AI, like a chat GPT thing where it's like it does it but it's imperfect, so it's like even when she's like, oh, I'm sad about my cat, so it has like a memory but it's not accurate,
right? She gets it wrong.
So I'm like, it's weird. And anyway, then the rest of them go, then Bear goes and he's like, oh, like I have to kiss the person to my left, and it's Sarah. And so like,
which it's funny too, because you would think that like, I guess it depends on the group of people playing, because if it was just a normal thing, he would have just given her a kiss on the cheek and like been like, or whatever, or a peck or something,
like, you know, whatever.
Like, but that's what I mean, but if you know, like if it was a different scenario where he doesn't even feel comfortable doing that, you can literally just give a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Or like, a peck would be normal amongst friends. Like that's literally,
nobody's
but obviously
gonna be out here like, it's better
literally
freaking like go 7 minutes and have it. You know what I mean? Like,
literally. So that's why I'm like, it's not like it's like, oh, kiss the person on your left, you better use tongue. Like it's not like that. So I'm like, anyway, before anyone can even do anything, you hear, like you don't see it, but because you're looking at Barrett and Sarah, but you hear someone getting up and you know it's Nikki, and she literally comes behind Sarah.
Before she goes around, she's just standing there, and we were like, and they're staring at her, and it creeped me out because it doesn't show her at first, and then it shows her, and her frown is so like it's like perfect, like, and I'm like
literal. Like it's like, and everyone's like,
and it's creepy. It creeped me out, but everyone in our theater laughed, and I was like, oh, her mouth looks
and then
weird.
She moves and goes behind Sarah's chair, pulls it all the way like out of the way, and sits like on the edge, like, or not sits, she like squats next to Bear, kneels and like kisses him there instead, because she's like, she's on the left now, and so she kisses him,
and everybody's like. I was afraid because she stood behind Sarah for a second and didn't do anything. She just stood there, and I was like, she's gonna strangle her or something. Like I was scared she was gonna like
I thought she was gonna take something and whack her behind the head,
or like slit her. Like the way they had it, I was like, oh my god, she's gonna, because she stood there for too long, and then she like talking about again long takes, because the whole thing in there, and then whatever. So she like puts her lips out for him to kiss her, and then she makes it weird as whatever. Then she stood up. And she freaks out like she did before,
screaming, and like, it's so sad because it's like it's the real Nikki being like, "Oh my god, like she starts saying something. Doesn't she say it's not me?
Again. Yeah,
it's so sad. It's like her trying to tell the whole room it's not me. And she takes a bottle, which obviously is the real Nikki in that moment, trying to like do something, and she smashes it against the table and immediately juts it into her head. Which honestly, the plot, like this girl should have died like 5 times, because the amount of time she takes like stuff and jabs it in her face, but she jabs it there and it genuinely looks like it goes through her eye, even though it's not as bad as that, I don't think. But,
it's like around her,
like, and they're all screaming obviously, and I'm thinking, okay, this is the moment they're all gonna like realize like you need to, like, something's gonna have to drastically change, because they all know she must be whatever. The next shot is them trying to take her to the ER, and they won't let her in. And I'm still confused.
I don't know.
And they show her acting drunk, like getting out of the car, and I'm like,
maybe
so
it's that they're like, she's drunk, she needs to go home, and it's like, so you can't go to the ER when you're drunk? Is there some
so you're bleeding out and you're drunk? They're like, sorry, you've got alcohol in your blood. We can't. What? That
and
doesn't
there's no
make
way
sense.
they were closed. It was the ER.
Yeah. And we were saying that where we're like, it would have been nice if they just said like one sentence to kind of like clarify what that was about, because we were just kind of like left wondering like, well, why? Even if it's a dumb excuse of her being drunk, like tell us that, because it just seemed weird. I don't know. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So the next thing they're like back at his place, and she's like at the table with her freaking eye. Like, it's, again, I think it's more surface than it came out to be, but like still it would be a lot of blood, obviously. But she's like sitting there and like they're just talking, because does he like kind of scold her again, or I don't remember. They're just having another conversation.
What
obviously.
The hell was that?
Yeah.
Like, I need you to be Nikki, because at first she was like, he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. She's like, can I stand outside? And he's like,
no,
what the hell was that tonight? Like, what is going on? Like, you need to be normal. And she's like, I can be Nikki, I can be normal, again every single time. And he's like, oh my god. So he's like, I'm going to Ian's tonight, like I'm gonna sleep at Ian's. And she's like, like,
and she switches modes into like goes
she
into
does
the room and goes.
She does
and
the
gets
weird
her.
backup thing.
She does
too.
do the backup rewind thing, which still doesn't make sense to us. We're like, is this in like a movie? Like, why are they being rewound in real time? It's so
creepy. She backs up into the shadows.
And then she goes and grabs a knife when he says, I'm leaving to go to Ian's. She comes back out, gives a horrifying detailing of like what it would feel like for her to basically slit her wrist, which was just disturbing above all else, and dying, and then just really upsetting, obviously. And he's like, and then she immediately snaps out of it, being like, or you could stay. So basically, threatening suicide for him to not.
And she walked away. And he's like,
yeah. And he's like, okay. So then the next shot is like, he's in bed with her, obviously, because he's like, I'm not going to leave then.
Yeah. And then he gets a text from Sarah.
And like this. This is where it really gets upsetting.
I don't even want to say this is where it goes downhill, because it's been downhill. It's been downhill the whole time, but it gets even worse. So he's sitting there like petrified, and she's asleep next to him. Also, there was another point at one point when he tried to get up.
Was it here or was it before?
A different time.
Wasn't it here? Oh.
I think it was. Hello? Am I out of focus? He tried to... There was one part where it might have been here. There was one time when he tried to get up, and
I think it was here, because we thought he was getting. Oh, then yes, okay. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. Because I'm sorry.
I know what
right.
you're gonna say.
Yes,
but there was another part where he tried to get up, like multiple times, different nights. He's sleeping next to her, and he tried to get up at one point or move, and she just screams like. She screams "stay" like at the top of her, so like loud. She's like asleep. She's like asleep, like basically, but she's like screams in his ear. And he's like, okay. And he's like,
okay, gets right back into bed.
Yeah.
Can't even get it, because he's like, I need to just, it's like, no, I cannot. It's insane.
But this time he gets a text from Sarah, like, mind you, it makes the noise twice.
No, I'm like, how does it
she's
not?
She's gonna wake up.
Yeah.
And he's like slowly trying to get it to look at it, and I'm thinking like, she's gonna see it. She's on your chest. And so she's like, come to the park, like meet me. I need to tell you something. And he's like, I can't. And he's like, just text me. And she's like, it's important. Like, if you don't come, I'm just gonna come to your house. And he's like, oh my God, don't
not
my
house.
No, not my house. Like,
literally. And it's so funny, because I know, like, she's like, and he's like, okay. And so he's like, somehow shifts out of the grasp of Nikki, like, to get out. He's like, they do it so well, because it's like the music will be playing, and he's like slinking away, and then it goes dead quiet, and something's about to happen, because then all of a sudden you hear the bear, and he's like, oh, I'm just getting some water. Like, I'm just getting some water. But she's like, please kill me. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's so upsetting, because he's like, what? And she's like, please kill me. It's me, Nikki. And he's like, you're what? And she's like, she's sleeping. She's sleeping. It's me right now. Please kill me. And he like, I don't know. What does he say back to that? Because he obviously is like,
literally is like, he doesn't say anything, I don't think. He just goes to leave. And she's like, please. Like, she's like literally trying to.
Sad.
He says to like, I don't think he says to go to sleep. But I don't think he says anything. He might say something.
I was trying to remember if he said something about like, you are Nick, or like, you should.
Oh,
just
yeah.
be
He
Nikki,
says, you are Nikki,
like,
or something.
It's so upset. He goes, no, it's even worse. He goes, he says that, I think he says that. And then he says, would it be so bad? Is it that bad being with me? And she goes, I've never been with you, Bear. Like, it's never been me. And it literally was like, that was the moment we talked about afterwards, where I was like, this is the equivalent of all men that do this, this specific thing that men will not, obviously me, not all men, but that literally when men will be like, oh, like, okay, but really, like, okay, but no head, like, not what, like, you know, like, it literally
Bad.
is like,
So gross.
It's the equivalent of him just being like, all of this is happening, and his only thought is, so you don't want to be with me? Like, it's really that bad, babe?
Like, it's still about him.
Is literally been taken over, and you have repeatedly equivocally, like, whatever, raped her essentially, because you knew it's not her, and you knew that it's not her. You are literally raping her, and now your concern is you don't like me like that.
No, he makes himself the victim of like, oh, so it's that bad being with me, like it's really that bad, and it's like,
it's insane. And it's it's perfect response where she's like, I've never been with you. Like, and then it's so sad.
He's leaving, and she's like literally calling after him, like louder, you know? And the thing doesn't wake up, but I'm like, it's so sad because she's like begging him, like, dude, like, you are killing me, like, oh, please kill me, and you're literally torturing me, like, and this is horrible. And you are not,
like, it's so sad because it's like the most heartbreaking thing that Nikki's like, this man who I thought was a friend is literally like evil, like he's literally awful, like it's just so sad. It's so sad. But so he's like, he gets out of there though because obviously the entity is asleep, and so he's able to leave. He pulls into, like, I don't know where they're at, like, oh, the park.
At the park,
yeah. And he gets into Sarah's car, and they're talking, and she's like, this is where she basically tells him, this is where she reveals, like, oh, by the way, like, Ian and Nikki had been in they'd been hooking up, like, nothing serious, but like they'd been on and off, and Ian thought that her being immediately lovey-dovey with you was like her trying to get like back at him, and he's like, what? Like, well, this isn't the vibe, like, well, you wouldn't do this, so you're being weird regardless. Because I think that's what it is, like, Ian's kind of like, that's weird, like, Nikki, that wasn't our thing, like, why is she acting like I would, you know what I mean? Like, so he's like, Ian regardless is genuinely concerned, being like, this is weird behavior no matter what, like, it's not like,
regardless, I don't think he's not like, oh, but I want to be with her, like, he's like, this is not it, like, she's told me, she's like, we were having a very
like, it was a non, like, whatever, like, serious thing, like, she wouldn't be using you like this, but that's what it seems like, so like, why is she acting like that? That's weird. So it's like they're basically all just like, so him and Sarah have been talking about this, obviously, and then it's so sad because it like kind of shifts into like a normal conversation after that, because it's almost like Bear, it's stupid because out of context it's like Bear finally acknowledging, you know what,
Sarah's
I guess
cool.
She doesn't, maybe Nikki doesn't like me, and you know, Sarah's being like,
I should be with Sarah. Fuck you, Bear.
And it's so upsetting because she's like kind of being like kind of coy, being like, you know, all this stuff. You don't deserve someone that's like this, like you deserve blah, blah, blah. And he's like, because they start talking a little bit about art school too. And it's so sad because she's just like,
she has her
I got
last
my final letter. Yeah. And she's like saying something about like, you know, you can stamp successful daughter on my head if I get in, and I'm like, I am gonna throw up.
And they're like, let's open it together.
I know.
And like you said, where she's like, you deserve somebody more chill, and like,
and he's like you, and she's like, well, I was on your left, because obviously she's referring to the kiss thing, right? And just being like flirty because why not, whatever. And it's so sad because like that's the, like, they do it in such the framing, we knew it, like the whole time we're freaking out, like we're like, something's gonna happen, and like she's literally like looking at him from, like, he's in the passenger seat, and as she's turning looking at him from the driver's seat, we see like it happens so fast.
This is so terrifying.
I won't even get into the graphics of it. It's just so like real quick, I'm just gonna go through because it happened quickly. You just all of a sudden see someone charging, and it's obviously Nikki charging at the window, the driver's window, smashes her head through the window, the glass goes everywhere, which I told Stevie I learned from the behind the scenes that they had 3 of those like sheets of whatever candy, like kind of thing glass. And they ruined the first 2 takes, and they only had, that was the last take they had, and they got it, and they're like, oh my god. And so like she slams it through, don't even have a second
brick.
to breathe.
There was like a brick.
I thought at first it was her head, but you're right, because she does have the brick, of course.
She has
and
the
like,
brick,
she messes herself up too because glass is everywhere. So obviously Nikki's head is whatever. But she like, there's no time to breathe. Stevie and I don't have time to even be like, run. Because
Sarah, I think, started crying. We were heartbroken because
I don't think I saw that. I feel like
no,
it didn't even,
you.
Like, oh, me.
You, Sarah, not the other Sarah. I heard you reacting, and we were both like terrified. We were both like horrified.
I was like, Stevie,
I was
there
like,
was
you
no
didn't
time for
realize
her to
that you
cry. I'm gonna be so upset if she was literally having time. My only thing to hold on to is that it worked. It happened too fast. Like I was like, good, she
I'm
didn't
over
have
here
enough
like,
time.
You're like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, I
Like
forgot.
about
This
to
is
start crying again.
this is Caleb.
No, I was
Caleb all
literally
over
like,
again.
we were like having a meltdown. Like it was, I was literally like starting to literally like I'm gonna weep, and it was so bad. And like she takes the brick, again, no time, no breathing room, puts it on the steering wheel, takes her head, just batters it
Over
completely.
and over, constantly.
Over.
She's completely.
When you think it should be done, it's not
No.
done yet. It's
No.
so upsetting. It's
And
so
she's
upsetting.
literally left there like bashed to a pulp, and all you see is like a row, like you see her eyeball, and like it's so graphic
upsetting.
and gory, and we were
It's so
like,
upsetting.
it's so upsetting because she was so
So
it's upsetting
sweet.
in general, and also the fact
And why
that
would you let us know she has a father? Us, everyone in the world.
she
Why would
has
you let
a
us know she has a loved
father.
one? Why would you
She
let us know
has-
there's
I
someone who
know.
loves her?
And she was so
upsetting.
cool, and like even if she was somebody else, it was sad, but it was even like we were attached to her, and we saw. But the thing is that both of us were like, I thought that I knew Nikki was gonna appear, but I thought, hey, maybe that she'll have a chance to fight or something.
Yeah.
No,
It would be more of like at
I
least
thought she
you'd
was gonna
have
pull
time.
her out of the car.
I
you
know. I think it like that's why it hit so hard too, because there was just no fighting chance. Like, not that I would be less upset if we see her literally, but at least like I kind of, you know, when they have a moment of being like, what's going on, and like at least Bear could be like, she's going crazy, and like everyone's just having this moment, and then like it's so sad even if she dies that way. But it's like you just have more of a moment of at least she's knowing what's, I don't know. But also in this way, I'm like, she had no, you know what? It was, I don't know about quick for her, but at least it's just like nonsensical. Like it's done. Oh my
she
God,
didn't even have a chance to process what happened.
yeah, it was just
and-
like a literal done. But I'm like, it was so upsetting. Bear's obviously trash, but he's
Horrified.
traumatized, of course. Yeah, like on the side,
Yeah.
like splattered with blood. And like, we see that Nikki has like a gash now on her forehead, and then is obviously messed up because there's glass everywhere. Comes over to the passenger side. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby, that it had to happen that way. Like, I'm so sorry. Like doing what you were saying before, where it's like no matter what she does, whether it's like violent or freaky, it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And like for this one, she's like, that was necessary.
She's like, I
I'm
know,
sorry.
you're gonna have to help me bury her. And he was like, girl. And she's like, I know, shh, shh, shh. And I'm
I
like,
know. Shh, 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 shh,
girl.
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. It's okay.
It is, shut your mouth. And he's
it's
like,
which is crazy because it doesn't take into account for anything. Like, obviously getting rid of the body is one thing, but I'm like, this girl has a car, you know, her family, you know, everything. Like, this entity is not obviously thinking things through. Like, she would have to have been like, we have to leave the country, like,
yeah,
or the state,
you're gonna
have
get
to go
found out.
underground. Yeah, like, what are you doing? Because they take her to, do they go into where do they go?
So then it cuts to like, I don't know where they're at, but they cut
it's
to
not
like,
the store, is it? Like the, oh my God, that'd be so upsetting.
No, I hope not. It didn't look like it because it looked like it was like
some like basement looking
some
thing,
parking lot.
though.
I hope it was in the store.
Because
Because
they take it somewhere, and then she's like, don't worry, I've got this. Essentially probably gonna like, I don't know, break the body down. I don't know, like put it in acid, something. Because she's like, you can go home now, I'm sorry, like I'll take care of the body. Which now we know is not even her doing that. It's her getting ready to like mutilate it more. And oh my God, it's so upsetting. I'm genuinely, this part we were like, no,
unless that's
we
the
could've
back of
stopped.
his house or something. And she's like, it's okay. Because then he goes to...
Because it did look like a little
he goes-
storage, like
Yeah. It could be like part of the house because he...
maybe so.
Now... he literally like
Oh no,
goes
wait,
back
okay.
to
It says, you know, okay, so it does say that they it says Nikki reminds Bear this is what he wished for, and instructs him to go home while she disposes of the body. So they must be somewhere
so
else.
somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know where, but either
Oh yeah,
way,
she
she's
does
like,
say like go home. Yeah.
yeah, and it's in a rare moment where she's kind of like, I don't need to be near you. Go ahead, go home. And it's like interesting.
I know.
But
I'm
you
like,
know,
is
after
it
all
because
that,
it's just part of.
I
Why?
guess so.
Why is that? Maybe because
Picks
when
and
she left
chooses.
that other time, like when she stood there like still, he was like, be like
Yeah.
normal, and so she's
Right.
like okay, and so
It's
like
like-
she had to stay like that maybe because
Maybe so.
like there's other times where he's not there, like this next part that's obviously happening and stuff, like she's doing stuff, but I don't know.
Because then he, in his same blood splattered clothing and stuff, traumatized, not really like, he's obviously processing all of this, but he's also like, I need to undo this. Like, this is the part where you would think it would, if he was truly the good guy protagonist and none of this other stuff had happened that had made him bad, whatever, like you would think this be the moment that he's like, I'm figuring out how to fix this. Like, I can't accept that this is now life. Like, I have to like fix this. But he like is going to go back to the crystal store. Yeah. To be like, let's find another one. It was really good. This is a good gag, though, a good setup, because he goes in there and he goes to the area where he got the original One Wish Willow, and he sees that it now has like some kind of candy, I don't know, something else, and he's like, where the hell is it? Yeah. And it's like, and in my head at this moment, I feel like we were like, whoa, like it is one of those things where it's like it just shows up to someone who like needs it, and it's like now you're gonna look real crazy, and that's why online when he looked it up, people called it the Mandela effect, when it's like, did this actually exist? And it's like, oh, that's good if that's why, like it's not even real sometimes. But then he goes to a different guy at the counter, it's not the same girl, and he's like, where's the One Wish Willow? And he's like, the guy's like basically saying like, what are you talking about? Like, oh my God, like whatever. And he's really funny because at one point he's like, dude, it's too early. Your energy? No, not
He's like, you can't come in here like this.
You can't like, come in here
you
this.
Can't
like
meanwhile, he's like covered in blood and like looking horrible. And he's like, it's early. Like, you can't be doing this. Like, whatever. First of all. And second of all, I'm fucking with you. They're right there.
It's right there. It's right there. Literally right next to him. So good. And it just pans over and he's like, no, they're right over there. And I'm like, that is so funny. Like the way the guy's like, also, I'm fucking with you. It's right over there. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm going to... So funny. But he's basically like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna get because he's like, I'm gonna get another one, because I think he tells the guy's like, oh, is your wish messing up? And he's like, yeah. And he's like,
what happened?
What happened? He's like, I made her love me or be obsessed with me.
She's obsessed with me.
So bad. He's like, that's not so bad. And he's like, oh wait, did it get people like, oh, did it go wrong? Like he's kind of like, I guess I could
like,
see.
He's like, I need you to help me. I need you to, here's like you. He's like, no, dude. He's like, I can't help you. I already made my wish. Did you call the number on the box? He's like, yes. He's like, I can't. And then he's like freaking out. And that's when the guy's like, well, he's like, well, well, and this is another thing that they said earlier online, which we didn't mention, but like in the Threadit and stuff, like it was called Threadit on the Reddit stuff. And like, and also this guy in the background, you can hear him like in his head kind of thinking, he's like, well, the guy's like, well, if she loves you so much, why don't you just have her make a wish? Like, she loves you, so she'll do it. And he's like, then he kind of like zones out, and you hear the guy talking in the background, and he's like, well, or you could kill yourself, because, and so like the guy on Reddit, the Reddit thing said that too, because,
and that's what the guy on the customer service, yes, you're right. We forgot to say that. He does say that, where he's like, well, the only way, he's like, how does she go back to normal? And he's like, well, if you die, the wish dies. So that's the only way. And it's like, well, we're clearly seeing in our heads, you and I are like, well, Bear's not willing to die, obviously, for this to whatever. So, or at least at this point. So you're right. I forgot that. I didn't realize though that the Threadit someone said that.
The Reddit. Well, on the Reddit they were like, this made like people want to like, you know, kill themselves, or like it got so bad like they wish they were dead or whatever. Or the girl at the store at the beginning was like, or they wish they were dead. And then this guy in the background, he's like, or you could do this, like you could jump up. And I'm like, oh my God. But the guy on the phone also earlier, we forgot to mention that he was like, sounds to me like, you know, you have a responsibility to be there for her.
That's right. You like, made her this way, so you were supposed to take, which almost made me think they were going to dive into him being like, you brought this entity wants you. You have a, like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought at first it was like the way the guy on the phone is talking as if he knows who's in her body, and he's like, you gotta have a responsibility for that now. And I'm like, well, who's in the box? Who is this? Is this a lost soul from something else?
Right.
What's in the box? Open the box. I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, there's all that, but it's just funny because that guy again, his guy's like a little incense, and he's just like, I mean, or you could do this, and we're like, what? Oh, I can't. So Bear's like freaking out, obviously, and then I think he just buys one more, obviously, and then
he goes
leaves
to
go see Ian. That's right. Okay, so he's at Ian's house. Ian is like, I'm freaking out. I'm getting all these texts from Sarah to come to your place. What's going on? And Bear's like, don't go to my place. And he's like, what is happening? And he basically gives him the long, like a quick spiel of everything about the One Wish Willow. And obviously Ian is like,
he's like, dude,
my guy, like, don't pull this right now.
Well, because Because then he's kind of is like, what do you mean? Like, and he almost is like he's like, just make this wish. He's like, it's blah, blah, blah. He's like, but then he goes, and then you can be with Nikki. He's like, oh my God, is this what this is about? Like, I was going to tell you. And he's like, no, I don't even care. Like, I just need you to make a wish.
Like, just take everything away. Yeah.
Just make a wish and say that you wish that I never made my wish, like, please. And he's like,
say it exactly like this, like, don't leave anything out, like, don't add this, whatever. And we're like, that's not gonna work.
I'm like, Ian's not gonna do it. Ian's not gonna do that.
Yeah,
like, I feel like it could have worked if he actually did it,
right?
But he was like, and then he's like, please, please, please. And then he's like, looks at him, and you can tell he's just mad because he's like, I don't believe this is stupid. And he goes, I wish for $1 million or $1 billion. And then immediately money starts pouring into the house from the roof, and Bear like falls to his knees because he's like, oh my God, like.
But I'm also like, okay, go back to the store, get another one, get someone else.
He had another one.
Not that I'm like, hello, like, it's just.
He did have another
funny
one.
Though. Oh yeah, he did. He bought two.
Yeah, he bought
That's
two.
That's what it was. I forgot. I'm over here like, he bought one, he bought two.
Yeah, because they make it seem at first. Yeah, there was only two left.
Sorry, that's right. Okay, because I'm like, honestly, buy out the whole stock if you needed to, because it's like, hello, but there was only two left. That's right. But also I kept telling Stevie, I'm like, they're gonna drown in this money.
You were like, well, they're all gonna die under that.
They're all gonna die under the weight of $1 billion. That is so much more than any the human mind can like comprehend.
Or
like, the physical billion.
Yeah, the physical. That or the Scrooge McDuck moment of like, anyways. But I'm like, truly, I'm literally. Like, the Earth is gonna collapse from the amount, like, physically.
So insane. It's so cool though, because it's like they're not gonna make us like have to figure out, well, where is it coming from? It's just like, it's just falling. Just from the sky. That's the magic of it. Yeah. And Ian obviously is like stuck there going like, and so then Bear comes home with his last one wish willow then. Okay. And it's just not great at all in any sense. I was already like, we're already really still recovering.
It's not good.
I hate this. It's like we're recovering from Sarah's whole thing. But he comes in and Nikki, I don't know if we see Nikki right away yet, but we see immediately in one, like the dining room or something, that Sarah has been like, almost like a spread eagle, like hands tied behind her back, her corpse, because it's just her head and the eyeball, her body naked, spread eagle almost. Like, obviously a very like horrific pose with her like tied up, just like mutilated on display. And it just feels like, and I'm not trying to be too like, this is wrong, they shouldn't. I just meant that it's like it's intentionally upsetting. Like,
yeah,
that's like, you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be disturbed, and it's supposed to be like,
I'll take care of it. And then she just puts Sarah's body like out, and then she made like this shrine.
So
she made this art piece because now she's trying to, and she's
she wears Sarah's clothing.
Yeah,
she draws the tattoos on her that Sarah has. She's wearing and then the little table that she has that's almost like a little like celebration thing. I was noticing like a lot of it's like art palettes, like paint stuff, artist
She made like an art display.
She's trying to make it seem like all these things that are like artistic and like whatever she can grapple to make it seem like a tattoo artist thing. And I'm like, so she's like, I can't be Nikki, I'll be Sarah if that's what you want.
She's like, is this what you want? You want to be with her? Like, I'll be that. And he's like, oh my God, like, again, hey, this isn't good, like, don't do that. And then he was gonna ask her to make the wish.
He tries to, I think, right?
But she's like freaking out because she's like, yeah, again, she's screaming like, you don't love me, blah. And she like won't stop screaming, and he's like trying to be like, oh my God, like, I do, I love you, whatever. But then Ian's like knocking on the door. He's like, dude, come out here.
And then she pulls out a gun though. When does she
pulls out a gun on Bear, yeah, and she's like, you don't love me, blah blah blah,
and she's like kind of threatening suicide, threatening to kill, whatever, herself always. And he's like, stop. And you had noticed, I didn't remember, but tell him what you said about, or what you discovered about the gun, that you were like, where'd she get a gun from?
At first I was like, where the hell did she get that? But then I remembered, like, at the beginning during trivia night, Sarah and Nikki were talking, and I think it was Nikki, it must have been Nikki, because she was like, hey, Sarah said that her Sarah, she's like, Sarah said that her dad has a gun. Like, what? Like, and they're like talking about it in the background while Ian and Bear are having like eye contact conversation.
That's right. Yeah,
they're having a conversation about that. And then when she pulled the gun out, I just remember being like, where the hell did she? And then I was like, oh my God, it was like a memory. I was like, oh my God, they mentioned it at the beginning.
So it would have been Sarah's dad that had the gun, and then so Nikki just got it from
Bear? I'm like, did she get it from the store? Did she? Because she said something like, oh, it's in in her house though, at Sarah's house, I thought. But I don't know, maybe it was in her car for some whatever reason. Oh, yeah. But I'm assuming that's the one.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though.
Which, is this a Chekhov's gun thing? Is this
I
supposed to
know,
be a
right?
reference of it? Is like literally like, oh, we're gonna say
It's
the
almost,
gun at
yeah,
the
like
beginning,
when
and
you
then we're
see
gonna
it, it's gonna go off
if
before
you
the end of the
mention it,
movie. Yeah.
So they
And
were
it's
like, LOL, mention it. Let's come full circle with
right.
that, and like on the nose way. But
Right.
so she's screaming, she's pulling the gun, she's trying to like, she's threatening to pull it on herself, and then Ian's outside. He's like, dude, come out here. I got like $1 billion. I'm like, I can't.
He's like, it's real. It's real. Yeah.
It's real. Yeah, we know. And then
we know, Ian.
he comes into the front door, and it's so like she's screaming the whole time. So it's like chaos. And the second
because he sees her
in,
like he comes in and sees her like straddling Bear basically with the gun, and he's like with blood like, he doesn't even get to probably take in the whole scene, but he's just like just like with Sarah, no moment, just immediate, turns around, she shoots him.
She shoots him, like, and then keeps talking to Bear. Like, she literally doesn't even think. She's like, anyway. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, my God. So he's, like, on the ground, and she's screaming and screaming. She's like, you don't love me, Mom. And he's like, I love you, I do love you. Like, he's screaming, like, I do. And she's, like, calming down. And he's like, just calm down. Like, it's fine. Just whatever. And she sits next to him and puts her head on him. She's like, oh, yeah. Like, I love you. We'll be together forever. And he's just sitting there. And he's like, we can figure this out. It's fine, whatever. And then she goes, that's when she's like, we'll be together forever. And he doesn't say anything. He's just sitting there. And she's like, what? And he's like, what? She's like, you shook your head. And he's like, no, I didn't. She's like, oh my God, like, you don't love me. And same, more, whatever. And he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom, whatever. He runs to the bathroom because he's like, I gotta get out of here, like, whatever. And then he takes the gun, he goes in there, and you can see him trying to be like, I'm gonna, he's gonna say he's gonna kill himself, and then she's screaming, banging on the.
Right. Sorry, and he ultimately like can't do it, obviously, and like not obviously, but he can't go through with it. He's too freaked out by it, can't do it, and then he remembers and he looks up into the medicine cabinet and sees I think it's oxycodone. Oxycodone?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's like, that's what the cat died from. And so speaking of all these like different like, this
things
like,
coming
true foreshadowing, of like, okay, and he's like, oh, let me take that. Takes a bunch of those instead, sits there for a while. And it's such an interesting like character study of his face during this, because it's like he sits there, takes that, and is like, okay, that'll be how I do it. Then he's like, no, I don't want to do this. Starts to try and throw up, tries to throw up, stops doing that, has another change of face, and is like overcome with something, and
like
he's
some euphoria. And I think it's the medicine kicking in, and he's like doesn't want to vomit it anymore because he feels so good from like the effects of the medicine. Or that's what I was thinking.
Which,
like,
would it make you feel that way first? I thought it would just make you like,
I mean, like, I don't know, I'm like, maybe it's like, when if you take a lot of something and it kind of makes you that like loopy euphoric feeling, and
like
I'm
when
like
people
thinking,
do it to not overdose but are doing it just to actually feel that, and obviously
because before he gets to the point of overdose, I'm like, maybe the effects are still like kicking in, so I'm like, maybe it's making him feel really happy.
Forgot, but you're right though that it did seem like it was still him, but having like oh wait, you know what, let me stop making myself throw up, let me bask in this feeling, which is obviously, and then it's too late, because
at that point he's like, oh, never mind. And I thought that's what was happening. Then he goes outside of the bathroom, and she's out there like
standing expectantly, like waiting,
and he's like, oh, and he's like smiling at her, and they're giggling at each other, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm still thinking it's the medicine. And he's like, oh yeah, ha 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 ha, and they like go to each other, and they're all like, oh, lovey, whatever, like hugging. And then it like pans down, and you see the one wish Willow that she wished on, and obviously assuming like, I hope he loves me the most out of everyone in the world. Similar thing.
Which is wild that the entity would like do that. Like the entity would know to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting because it's like because he tries earlier. We forgot to say, when he gets the second wish stick, he tries to do it himself, but it won't break, and it's because the rules are like only one per person. Remember, he was trying to break it.
Oh, that's right. So and that's why even the guy at the store is like, I already had my wish.
He's like, I already had my wish.
Yeah, like,
but he tried anyway. He was like, I'm gonna try to do it, and it's like, it won't break.
And it won't break. That's right.
So it is weird that like she's not. I mean, technically she's using her body, so I'm like, is that like how it counts it? But it's like, why would it think to do that? Right? Like, why would the entity think to do that if it's? I guess it's just thinks it's a real person. I guess. Like
right.
it thinks itself is Nikki.
Right.
But anyway, he then, the medicine does fully kick in.
Yeah, they're
and
like
then,
kissing, and then it's like she's like, "What's going on? What did you do?" And he starts throwing up. Obviously, starts dying, and then she's freaking out, screaming and then he dies, and then or like he's dying, and then she's like taking the gun, and she's like the entity. The possessed Nikki is like, okay, well, I guess I'll kill myself.
because she's
and
like, there's nothing to, he's gone.
Is getting ready to do that. And it's like, I guess the possessed Nikki, though, is not even thinking, I don't know, maybe she is, I don't know, but she's not thinking, oh, my time is up, he's dead. But instead, like, she's doing that in general. And then right before she pulls it, the real Nikki, like, it wakes up because the wish is done because he's officially dead. And it's the most horrific end. You and I are like, oh my God, this is exactly
Horrible
what we were
ending.
like afraid of.
In
Sad,
terms of
horrible for
sad
Nikki,
and horrific,
because she literally looks around, and obviously she's probably been somewhat aware of what's happening, but also not to this extent of just like, her best friends are dead in front of her, and then one of them is the villain who did it to her. Who like, and it's like, but then her friend Sarah. First off, my thing is that it's like, one, she's already traumatized to the core from all of this, and it's the most upsetting thing in the world. The other thing is, we're just like, what do you do now?
What's your life?
All of the evidence, even if she doesn't get caught, all of the evidence points to, but one, if she doesn't get caught, she's traumatized for life. But all of it, like, there's probably footage from the camera, everything from her killing Sarah to her doing stuff with the body to now the gunpowder is on her hands from shooting it at Ian. Obviously, maybe bears can be ruled a suicide and stuff, of course, but it's just like, I don't know what you would do. Like, you just are insane.
I know, like,
now.
unless you framed him for all of it because he's dead, like, and then he did that to himself or something. But it's like, even still, she doesn't live a happy life.
Yeah, you would have to say, she would have to frame it as in
him.
Bear, as you know, had went crazy and was using me, and she made me try to be Sarah because Sarah, you'd have to make up so much stuff too, because you'd have to be like, Sarah rejected him, he wanted me to be her,
because they
and
have other friends, so
and it's all that's just also, I know, but then also for the past like month, they've been like, Nikki's been
what's
off.
wrong with her?
Yeah,
I know, they would probably be like, well, I think.
But then they could say maybe I know, but maybe they could be like, yeah, because Bear was secretly doing all this to her, and he was actually help making her be on some trip this whole time, and like, drugs and stuff. But I'm like, and then who's gonna explain them $1 billion in Ian's house?
There's $1 billion. Well,
also,
he's gone, he's dead, so the wish is his money is gone.
Would that mean if you wished for like wealth for your entire generations, if once you die, like, your whole family is not without it?
Right. I don't know. That would suck.
Remember, I was telling you that's almost not the same thing, but kind of is. Remember, you didn't finish the the Mike Flanagan version of the Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
But remember, that's the whole. It's like not a monkey's paw thing, but it kind of is, where they get that deal with the devil of like, oh, we'll make you like literally the wealthiest like family in America, but your kids will all probably die by the time they're like 40. Like, that's the payoff. And it's like, oh, should we give? And mind you, he already had the kids. Like, he had like a 5-year-old. So it's like, you already know you have these kids, and it's like his sister.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, and his sister's like, think about it. You can give you're in poverty practically right now, or on the outs, whatever. And it's like, you can give your kids a nice adult life
for like 20 years. Like,
and they're
what the hell?
And they're like, even if that is like what's gonna happen, like blah 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 blah. And it's just like, anyway.
Why would you believe half of it but not the rest of it?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Also,
it's like, they're gonna come for you, and it's gonna be horrific, and it's just so. It was very. It's not, obviously, I still love his Haunting Hill House and Midnight Mass even more so, but this one was upsetting in the beginning, but it is good still too. Like, kind of like story,
I know you didn't watch Ready or Not 2, but it's kind of similar to them having like a deal with the devil and the families,
because
it
extends that whole thing.
It's like
right?
similar,
Where it's
but
just
anyway.
like, what are we doing? But it's like interesting because I'm like, okay, well then maybe that disappears. It's just interesting because like the wish cleans itself up once the person dies, which you would think, it'd be so cool. It wouldn't. It's not.
If the rest of them would come to life.
I know.
Like,
imagine,
oh, okay, it went away.
Imagine if he died, and it's like, it would suck if Nikki was like maybe the horrific part is that she remembers everything. Maybe everyone remembers everything.
Like a dream.
But it like all reverts. Like, because if we see all that rewinding body stuff, how interesting would it have been if all of them like rewind and reanimate, and like, I know it would have felt like even more uncanny. But like, it just would have been interesting if it reversed everything, because it's like, well, he died, so they're all
like
back.
yeah, imagine if it was like it reversed everything, everyone came to life, but now she kind of like had to, kind of like at the end of, spoiler alert for Jennifer's Body,
Oh yeah.
kind of like in Jennifer's Body, where you've seen it, right? Did we cover it?
Mhm.
We covered it. Didn't we cover it?
I think we were going to, but I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
You know what?
But we did rewatch it together at one point, though.
I think we might have covered it. Anyways, I think we did. So anyway, Anyway, it's like the end of Jennifer's Body, where like she's like in the asylum type of thing, or like she's in jail.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if in this, she like, it goes back to normal and everyone comes back to life, but he's dead, but then she kind of just like goes crazy, so then at the end she just kind of has to go into like a facility, like, instead.
Well, that's what I was assuming that's going to happen, you know? Regardless too.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I feel
like it's going to happen now,
framed,
but at least they would be alive. Like, it would still be so sad. Yeah. But I'm thinking about like how interesting that ending would have been. Not that it would have been preferable.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been preferable because Sarah,
I want the other people to not suffer,
but I don't want her to suffer either.
But at like, least maybe they could vouch for her too. Like, they could help her. Like, if they were alive, they'd be able to be like, let's get you out of this hole, because we know that something was weird, and Ian would know too, and like they'd all be like something.
But it's not
like,
even
whatever.
That, not a prison thing. I'm saying like she lost her mind. Like, what if?
But that's what I mean. Like, no, get you out of this mental. I meant like get you out of this
maybe.
mental hole. Like, we're here to help you because we know and we were there and you're not alone.
Yeah, at least there would have been a shot at it.
I know. It's just so upsetting. Oh my God. But it's like, in a way, from a movie perspective, like you were saying, you're like, it's a horrible ending, but not like in terms of for the movie. Like, it is kind of like the perfect sad setup of like, oh my gosh, like, that's horrible. It's but it's sad. Like, how else? I know.
She scared me. But yeah, that's how it ends.
But that is the perfect like tale of like, this is literally what this man would do to have this woman like him back. And he is, at the end of the day, the one that's obsessed. And he's the one who's the villain.
It's literally like you think she's the one that has the obsession, but it is him.
And it's him. And it's like, that's actually really genius. And I feel like
when you think about it.
When you turn it this way. But it was really well done. I just think that almost too well done. I'm too disturbed, and It
was so disturbing, and it stayed with me when we left. I was like, I can't. Like, I need to. We had to do multiple laps. Like, I was like, I can't. Cleanser. We laid in the grass. We were out for a while. We were like,
get some coffee and cookies. Get some food. Lie down.
And then
feel the air on our skin.
Yeah, when I came home that night, I was like, ugh. And I was like, am I going to have a nightmare? And then the next morning, I felt still. I was like, I can't. And even talking about it now, I'm like,
no.
Out.
Remember, speaking of lads, too? And then Caleb is like, did you see a horror movie? You're going to not be able to sleep. And I'm like, I know.
Lads. Caleb's like, hold on. I know
like,
what you were at. You were up to tonight. I know where you were.
And I know that you're not going to be able to sleep. Correct. This is true. This is true. I am terrified. Which, again, like, I've always joked with you, like, on this podcast too, where I'm kind of like, I love being an adult. I can just say that was scary and then go to bed because it's fine. And it's like, that is true for a lot of things.
Every time you say that, I'm like, that's great. Like, my brain doesn't work like that. But I know what you mean. I know
it's weird. It's almost like a coping mechanism that, like, will work. Like, I will literally be like, oh, I forgot I don't need to be afraid of the dark. And it just, like, works. Like, I'm like, cool, let me think of something else. Because obviously, remember we talked about this once where it's like, the reason kids are so, besides the fact that they're kids and they don't have knowledge of everything of the world, but, like, it's so, like, when we're kids even, when we would see something and, like, we saw a scary face and it would stay with us for, like, months even, and we're like, that would mess us up. It's because, like, kids have this, like, they're not able to separate, like, what the forefront of their mind is, like, seeing. Like, the way if we have an upsetting thought, outside of mental health stuff, like, if we have an upsetting thought that we can just be like, oh, that was so scary. And if we're, this is so hard because Stevie and I are like, well, we deal with upsetting thoughts though. But
we have upsetting thoughts. We have,
but let's just say it's like, I know, intrusive thoughts, upsetting thoughts. Like, there's a lot of mental illness involved here. But in terms of like an average person, but like, you know, like when you're just able to be like, oh, that was scary. Anyway, it's okay. Like, I'm not going to think about it every time I'm taking a bite of my salad. Like, I'm not, or like every time I'm like walking past my closet. Like, I know that can't happen to us still. I know. I'm just saying that, like, it's easier for
you have more
adults to
tools as an
separate.
adult,
Yeah, adults are able to not be like constantly thinking like, oh my gosh, that's going to happen to me if I don't have my guard up. And it's like, well, no, a ghoul isn't in the mirror every time you look in the mirror, like knock on wood. But like kids obviously just don't have, there's a word for it. It's like the separation of just being like, no, that's all they're thinking of because their little brains are like,
it's like a fairy and how fairies can only have one emotion at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
literally how they describe babies being like, I can only scream or I can only laugh, whatever. But yeah, it's like that. But then there's some movies where it's like, no, that image is just burned in your head for a little bit and you got to really shake it or else.
It was the energy of it. Like I kept feeling like, like I was like, I don't like it. And it's good job
Yeah, good
at
job
being eerie and freaky, and like I just,
and how to make that, like, and the way it was made, like it was just well done. The actors were all so good at it.
Yeah,
a big applause for them, because none of them ever had, like, in my opinion, they never had, even though I was saying some stuff about some of the script, which again seemed a little bit more intentional as it went on, like none of them gave like takes that I was like, oh, like that was not
take it again.
Like, they all just, yeah. Can we run that again? No, it was actually just like really good. I don't know. So they were.
And we didn't
she was insane.
name all of them, but the girl who played Nikki, so good. I don't know how to say her. Is it Indy?
I'm not. I think it's Indy. She goes by like her middle name. I think I saw that she has. It
says Indy Navarrete. Michael Johnston plays Bear. Cooper Tomlinson is Ian, and then Megan Lawless is Sarah.
Oh, this is what I saw, that her full name is Danielle Fabiola Indy Navarrete.
Oh, that's cool.
But
that's cool.
Well, I remember I was telling you in the beginning where I was like, oh, I almost forgot that she was going to be the main focus. Like, I forget that she can't, like, in my head, she was going to disappear and it was like not going to, I don't know why. And I was like, oh, she's just kind of like a nondescript, like she's here. She's just there to be pleasant and cute. And I'm like, this girl, the range, she is insane. Like, it was incredible.
So incredible.
Bro.
So
also,
creepy.
were we supposed to know that his full name is Baron? I did not realize this.
At one point they had his name on like a name tag. Because at first I was like, but they spelled it Bear like bear.
Yeah.
Like, that's the nickname, like an animal.
As opposed to Bear like Bear Paint or whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, oh. But yeah.
Although, is that how how people will have the name Bear? How do they spell it? Is it like Bear
just
Paint?
Bear? I think it's
or Bear the
like
animal.
The animal. Yeah, because some people are named Bear, but
how
not
funny.
him.
Baron Bailey.
But I only knew that because
that's crazy. Her last, Oh, you saw his name tag.
Yeah, on a name tag.
It's funny that it says her name is Nikki Freeman. She's not Freeman. No, that's so upsetting.
I don't like.
But also, it says that she's his coworker and childhood friend, which obviously
that's what I'm saying. They're all friends forever, and she's like, so anyway, who are you? I'm like, what, bro?
It's just
whatever.
I'm upset. Oh my God, Stevie, we knew it. Curry Barker is the voice on the phone.
Yes, he's the voice on the phone. Of course,
yes.
Of course.
It makes total sense because we're just like, this has to be someone special. It's either him or someone who's like whatever, and that's so. Once again, perfect delivery, perfect
snaps.
We don't really do that here.
It's like
we don't really offer that. Sorry, are you asking for a request or you want to hear her? Oh, I can't. That was so good.
I love hello. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Is this yeah?
Yeah.
So you have a question with your wish or no? Okay. It's so funny.
I love when they do
so
that.
Messed up. Oh my God. So
funny. We took laughs where we could get them because that was
truly.
We sat there and I was like, I gotta get out of the theater. I couldn't even pee in there. I was like, I gotta get out. I gotta go pee somewhere else. I can't do this. Like,
get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Ugh. Well,
upsetting, but hey. But again, hey, as we say,
came out the other side.
An applause.
Eerie.
I'm already thinking. Let's see. Okay, wait. Of what the ranking would be.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna do our scary scale, guys. And I was freaking out just talking about the movie. So there's our scary scale from lowest to highest is Alone in the Dark, Nightlight, Cover Your Eyes and Grab a Friend, Under the Covers, or Broad Daylight. So
I guess it would technically still be, let me think. Hold on. What are the last two again?
Under the Covers and Broad Daylight, which is like max scary is Broad Daylight.
Okay, I don't think I need Broad Daylight, but I do feel like it's Under the Covers, Grab a Friend situation because genuinely.
Well, those are two different ones.
Oh wait, I'm
So
sorry.
would you do
yeah,
Cover Your Eyes and Grab a Friend, which is like middle, or would you do Under the Covers?
I guess it would still be the Close Your Eyes, Grab a Friend, right?
Yeah, that's like 3 out of 5 scary.
I think I'm gonna say that, which again is scary for me though, because normally I can handle certain stuff, and I'm reserving still my higher ones for ones that I know that I'm like I genuinely like. So I feel like that's exactly how I reacted, like in the theater. Grabbed you, closed my eyes, couldn't handle, but I'm still able, like I was able to be in that theater. Like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. Also, if you heard that crash, that was my cat. I just want to say that there was a loud noise. No, but yeah. Like you're like, I needed a buddy to like be there to watch this. Like I think it would be Cover Your Eyes and Grab a Friend too, because like I would not want to watch this by myself. I think is what it is. Like I wouldn't want to watch it alone.
It just
I don't even want to think about it alone.
Well, that's why I'm saying like maybe one day, especially if my mom waits to watch it, I feel like I could maybe watch it with her, but I'm like I'm too freaked out. I don't need to see it soon. I don't need to see it. I'm okay.
Honestly, maybe Under the Covers with a friend. Like I'm
right. I was about to say, I was like, and you know what? What if it's like, what if we combine this? Because
we
honestly,
make the rules here, and I'm literally like, I kind of feel like it's like an in between because it's just so eerie. And I know maybe other people might not agree, but I mean, we've watched so many types of horror movies, and some things hit people differently. But I just think
that's true.
We both are like, ugh. Like I'm like, I just no.
Yeah, and it's just like there were so many parts that were like so just like they did it so well. So it's like again, very well done. Very like again, we've seen so many things that I think that when it's done differently and done well, we're kind of like, oh wow, like okay, like that was, you know, like obviously nothing insane happens in this, but it was done in a way that it was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to be like that. Like I wasn't expecting her to be like this. Like you did a different kind of creepiness that I haven't seen.
Never
on
let them
screen.
know your last move.
Never know.
And we were like, what the fuck? Even when we were like, oh, I know this might like this is probably gonna happen. Even then, we were like, blah. Like no.
It was just it was just so perfectly like executed, honestly. So it's just like, so yes.
Okay.
Scared, but not at you know, scared for us for sure.
Okay. Now we're gonna do our overall rating. Lowest to highest. Dusty, straight to DVD, airplane movie, plan your night around it, or life-changing / iconic.
Well, as of right now, I'd still say plan your night around it, because me personally, I can't call. Well, one, it doesn't feel like any higher than that. It feels like something that's just like, oh, this is a movie. This is a good movie. Go see it. Plan your night around it. Go see it. I'm too disturbed for this to have an impact on me that can be lasting. I need it to not actually. Yeah, I'm like, I need to remove that. So I'm not even going to give it that energy.
We're not going to have that happen. No, I think, yeah, I agree. It's plan your night around it for sure. That's, creepy. Eerie,
and it's
good,
and it's
well
funny,
done, well executed.
Done. And I think when I was saying earlier, you know, my little tiny critique, but it's not really a thing. And then the only other thing too is that we were wanting more stuff, I guess. Like it didn't have to. It was actually fine how it's done. I think it's just like the only thing we're always wanting more. But in my head, I'm like, no, it's actually okay that they kept things in the dark for this. But it is just a lot of, I want to know like what the director's thoughts were, but like the creator's thoughts behind it of just like, well, what do you think this like entity was? What, even if we, you know, maybe it benefits the movie that we don't know. It's just that I would love to know the behind the scenes of like, well, what is this supposed to be? What do you envision this One Wish Willow place being? Like, is it, you know what I mean? It's just kind of fun to like,
maybe he'll like write some stuff up about that. Cause that's always fun to just read afterwards. Like, oh, okay. Like, you know, like just with anything else, like a book or whatever. And they're like, well, this is the fleshed out thing that we didn't add. But in case you were wondering, and I'd be cool.
No, exactly. Yeah, like especially and especially if he's not one of the ones that's like, oh, I only want it to be open for interpretation. Like he might be like, no, I actually just let me tell you what my thoughts, even if it's not in the movie, so it's not necessarily canon. Like he's like, here's what my you know, what my process was. And I'm like, well,
I love when it's like, well, I always imagined, and we're like, again, with like Gojo and stuff, imagine my brother in Christ. You
my
wrote
brother
it.
in Christ. You wrote the you
What
wrote
do you
the
mean?
manga.
But it's
every
like,
time
it takes on its own entity after that. So it's
it
like,
does,
because
I do love it when they do that, where they're like, oh, what is it? They were like, what's Gojo's favorite color? And then they're like, does Gojo speak English? Yeah,
Probably.
I think he speaks. No, yeah, he goes, but just a little bit, probably. I mean, he would have to, I'm sure. And it's like, it's just so real though, because you're like, that's a human to him now. Like, that's a real human.
like,
where he's like, I mean, I think so.
I never
Obviously, I haven't
asked.
thought about every single thing ever he's done, so I'm just gonna go off of the energy of how I made him. And it's like, respect. I get it. I get
Respect.
it. Love that.
And I get that.
I love it.
But if
and I feel like sometimes that's more powerful sometimes with those kind of like those kind of things, not necessarily than it being like, I mean, I like both. I like having it too, where the author's like, I know exactly what this is, but like you'll see a different type of vibe where a creator will be like, oh no, this is law. This is exactly what I thought. You know what I mean? So it's just fun to see the dichotomy of that.
I know, and if we could get some of that, that would be cool.
I'm like, can you tell
That'd
me
be nice.
this thing? Thank you.
Please.
I love both from Gege Akutame and Curry Barker.
And
I'm like,
Curry
I'd love
Barker.
some all the
Give us a little more. Thanks.
Just a little bit more. I love it.
But yeah, well, I'm interested to see what else he's gonna make in the future.
Me
Because
too.
It seems like obviously we're gonna be like sad but scared, apprehensive, but like I'm interested to be like, because I like
which is great.
a lot of the
that
direction. Yeah, I like a lot of the direction and like the creative choices, the cinematography. Like there's so much about it that it impacted us. So I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I'm interested.
Yeah, where's
to
that
know.
from? Where it's like, well, did it change you? And it's, or did it impact you? Yeah. Oh, then it's art. Like it's truly like,
Yeah.
And I know
Art.
that anything we see, it changes us in some form. So it's all art, but in some different ways. But it felt like this was truly something that we're like, oh, this is memorable. Like this is something that is sticking with us in a way that maybe a typical moviegoer thinking about it wouldn't. Like not someone who's seen it and who likes it, but someone who just sees like, oh, it's a scary movie, whatever. It's like, no, wait. There's more to this.
I know, like literally what you're saying. It is art. Like, and I mean, like every I guess movie
Everything
and piece of
created ever,
art
yeah.
can be art. But then some things I'm like, wow, art. Like this definitely feels like it's like a.
And it had like a message, just so very good. And I just think it was not. It's like it's not too on the nose, but it's also not subtle enough that people like. I feel like people will get it. Like watching it, they're like, "This guy, brother, this guy stinks." Like,
Oh, brother,
this guy stinks. Like they're like, "This guy's awful," because it's like so good. Like the transition of just being like, "Wait a minute, I'm not rooting for you anymore."
And even when we knew he was the villain, he just kept. We're like. Every time, you are the villain. But also, there was another...
I see you, villain. I see you.
I see you for what you truly are.
For what you truly are.
There was something else that I felt like came full circle, like the gun and and other stuff. But I can't remember what it was, but I remember thinking about it before. But it's like, it's cool that there's so much of it that he's like, and I'm going to tie it up. Or I'm
It was
gonna
like the cat,
drop it
and then the
here,
love
I'm
story,
the love story thing,
the cat dying. There's just so many different bookends that were really
because
good.
you said like it was so foreshadowing for him to
like,
walk in on his cat and then him have the same fate. Like
fate is it,
but
wild.
Anyway, that's
it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, good but horrifying. Yay!
Perfect for our podcast. This, as always, we try to maybe make a shorter episode, but here we are. We are who we are. I am what I am. We are what we are. So here we are at like almost a 3-hour mark. Welcome. I hope you're still here with us. If you guys have any movies or creepy things that you want us to cover, let us know. You can follow us on Instagram. We're From Under the Bed. You can also email us at FromUnderTheBedPodcast@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, FromUnderTheBedPodcast.com. But, you know, everything's in our show notes and all we have our information down there. That's not a sentence, but you get it. Anyway, Dust Bunnies, we love you. Tell us what you thought about this movie. Have you seen it? Have you not? Do you want to see it? Tell us what you thought. Does it remind you of something else? I did say before it reminds me of It Follows. It Follows 2 eventually coming out. We'll see. We'll probably cover
it's like
that.
the It Follows with what's her name, the Micah Monroe actress, the long legs kind of vibe too. Like we're just like all
right. It's all of it like
in there.
similar vibes.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Anyway, we love you. We will be back soon.
Exciting.
Bye.
And also terrified, but we love you.
Terrified.
Yay.
Thank God we're out of that world.
Yes. Cute. Bye, guys.
Bye.